What a ripper round one we've had already, and it continues tonight here at the MCG in front of another big crowd. Barry Denner with you, not far away from the bounce. This is the Triple M footy prime time for Jim Beam. It's set to be an epic match, and that's worth raising a Jim Beam. Drink responsibly. Massive team around me. Kate McCarthy, good evening to you.
Good evening, Barry. It's good to see you again and good to be back.
And the great Chris Johnson joining us on Triple M footy, three-time premiership Brisbane line. G'day, Jono.
G'day, Baz. Good to be here.
Ethan Meldrum will be on the stats. Mickey Roberts downstairs, but here's Joey Montagna to kick us off tonight, Joey, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M Rocks footy.
We're underway at the MCG. Two terrific teams. Cozzy Piggott with the first centre clearance towards centre half forward. Bontempelli tries to shovel out a handball. Keith, a lot of numbers around this football. Gee, there are a lot of superstars on this field tonight. Clayton Oliver starting in the centre bounce with Cozzy Piggott. Petrarca starting up forward. Liberatore, Bontempelli and McRae for the Bulldogs. There's the Bont again. Had a ripping pre-season. He's fit and looking to get his side back towards a grand final. Can Melbourne bounce back this year? Piggott through the centre circle. Squares one wide to Tomlinson. Came into the side for Stephen May, who's out with that calf injury. Short and wide to Rivers. Members side MCG. Perfect conditions for footy. Can't wait for this one. Back to Tomlinson. The Dogs tools. They've got Darcy starting on the bench, but they've got Lobb, Norton and Jamari Ugelhagen in the forward line. But it's Melbourne who'll get the first inside 50. Gawn's drifted deep. A lot of numbers around this ball. McRae with the front and square to Ed Richards, who was excellent last season for the Bulldogs. They kick only as far as Jake Lever.
Lever marks on the wing, broadcast side of the ground. Demons and Bulldogs, Kate McCarthy, your early thoughts?
Yeah, just what Joey just said. I'm really interested to see how this forward line works for the Western Bulldogs. So many talls. Ugelhagen, Norton, Darcy and Lobb.
So Josh Bruce off hands on defensive 50 for the Bulldogs. Grabs the footy, real high kick back to the wing, but there's Lever again, doing what he does so well, and marks contested against Ugelhagen.
And they'll just play kick the kick. He'll send it back to where it came from, towards all the big talls. Spar goes there, ball goes out of bounds. Chrissy Johnson, how do you see this one? What do you think about the D's chances this year?
Yeah, look, they're going to be pretty good through this year, Joey. You would have thought they'd be at the top end, but they're really early days here. They're setting up very, very well behind the ball. And just a quick little setup early has been Cozzy Piggott starting in the middle of the ground for the Demons.
The boundary throw in front of the members. Petrarca swoops on it. He's 40 out, breaks two tackles. Little snap will be a point. Hooks it around and hooks too far. The Demons on the board. They're one behind. The Bulldogs yet to score on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Ream Hot Water built tough for Aussie condition when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a room.
Dogs have been stuck in their back half for the first 3 minutes of this one. And from the kick in, English goes wide to Anthony Scott. He's had a really good pre-season, cementing his spot in this side on the wing. Goes low and hard. Bontempelli leads out from centre half forward. Takes the mark on the wing. Shane Warne stands side MCG. Dogs kicking to the left of the broadcast. Tries to keep it low. Did Bontempelli. Got Hart partially smothered. McRae, his kick smothered. Good pressure by the Demons. English, Bontempelli, chain of handballs from centre half forward. Ed Richards under pressure. Just kicks a high ball. Max Gawn dropping back. Takes the intercept mark. And the Demons will reload and go wide towards the wing. A lot of numbers around this ball. Lockie Hunter playing against his former side. Ooh. Gets a few little boos from the Bulldogs. Doesn't seem to be a stack of Bulldogs supporters here. The ones that are vocal. There'll be a free kick downfield. It's going to go the way of Melbourne.
Yeah, Liam Jones there, Joey, just undisciplined act there. He got beaten a couple of times already and he just thought he'd come in late there. Undisciplined there, didn't need to do that at all.
That was on Ben Brown. So it'll be a free kick at half forward to young Bailey Laurie. Was that Cade Chandler? It might have been, in fact. And Chandler happy just to square it up. Patient build up again by Melbourne. Dominating field position early. Ethan Meldrum. Triple M Red Z lending stats.
Yeah, all Ds. This will be 4 inside 50s to 1 their way.
And that was Lockie Hunter who got the round of applause from the Melbourne supporters, who kicks it wide into the pocket and it goes out of bounds, 30 metres around from the Demons' goal.
Triple M footy prime time for Jim Beam. It's set to be an epic match, and that's worth raising a Jim Beam. Drink responsibly. Boundary thrown in the left forward pocket. And the footy spins in now. The Demons into attack at the city end of the ground. McDonald slaps it down in front of the pack. Keith got it for the Bulldogs, but he was dragged off his kick. Petrarca again. Little slippery low ball towards big Benny Brown at full forward. It went over his head. Richards claims it, goes short to Baker, who marks for the Bulldogs, the former Demon on defensive 50.
That was a great kick coming out of the back half there. Beautiful, low and flat, running at full pace as well for Richards.
The kick now to the wing, Norton in front, through his fingertips, the ball spills behind the Hannon, comes sort of off the side of his boot, but it's going to land in play about 10 metres inside the boundary, forward 50 for the Bulldogs. Let's go down to the boundary for the first time tonight, because we've got the voice of Triple M footy down there for Bob Jane teammates, the great Mickey Roberts.
Thanks, Baz. Lockie Hunter's going to get a belting tonight. I can just sense it playing against his old mob. It's a tough gig. The subs are Jake Melsham and Toby McLean, and it's comfort zone. The heat's gone, so we've got that nice southerly in the MCG, Baz.
Bob Jane teammates have great buy three, get one free deals, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply.
Clearance from the Demons from that throw in. Ed Langdon found McDonald on a lead. Goes into the pocket. Cozzy Pickett's got 2 to beat. Well done by Bailey Dale. And a beautiful kick to centre half back, found Liberatore. And it opens up the whole field here for the Bulldogs. The ball sits for Bailey Smith. It wasn't the best handball from Libba. Puts him under pressure. Taps it out in front. Clayton Oliver right in his hammer. Well done, Clayton Oliver. Caused the turnover. And now the Demons on the counter-attack. This is the speed we want to see in the game. Chandler from 55. Low and hard into the pocket. Cozzy Pickett this time. Takes the mark. 5 metres out. Just has to step around and snap it on his right. And that's what he'll do. And he'll get the first goal of the night for the Demons. They're on the board. They get reward for effort. And on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, they're 117. Bulldogs yet to score. And we've played 6 minutes in the first term.
Yeah, well, Cozzy Pickett's hard enough to tame at the best of times, let alone when he's running a switch from the midfield, trying to get back then into the forward line. Didn't look like anyone had really picked him up from the Bulldogs defenders, so if they're going to run that all night, that's going to be danger signs. Need to hand him over when he is playing in the forward line so that he's not just out the back on his own.
And I reckon Bailey Smith was all right there. He kept strong over the ball, but what it was actually the tall defender coming off, both of Lob and Ugle Hagen. In fact, it was Tomlinson was able to come off and get that extra number, which then was able to put this thrust forward, and to get the first score of the night.
What a team. Triple M Seabo Super special comments. Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Seabo Super making hard work pay off. From McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy, bounce good. Tap down to Bontempelli. Hand pass out towards the outer side wing. Demons with the numbers. Petrarca involved again. Hand pass to Wallowa. Another one to Brayshaw. He's right in the centre of the MCG. Drives it to Pickett in the pocket, but in front this time, Bailey Dale. Terrific one grab relieving mark. 40 from the goal he's defending.
Dogs don't want to hold themselves up. They're going quick again. Through centre half back. Bontempelli short to McRae. Some early Triple M Red Z lending numbers, Ethan.
Yeah, or Marcus Bontempelli. A lot of talk about how he's injury-free. 6 disposals in 7 minutes.
It gave off the handball received. Bailey Dale goes straight from centre half back to centre half forward. And there's going to be a free kick holding the ball. It was Angus Brayshaw with the tackle. So it's coming back to centre half forward. Nobody really knows whose ball it is. I just read Clayton Oliver's lips asking the umpire whose ball is it. Petrarca's talking to the umpire as well. Kate, what do you see on the Norman replay?
Brayshaw's tried to fend, so it should be Anthony Scott's free kick, I believe. He's fended him off while he was laying the tackle.
Give it to Libba.
And the other one is that he was tackled outside the 50. Now the man on the mark is standing at about 45 metres out from goal. So,
and it wasn't Liberatore.
Libba was in no way involved in the tackle.
Well, anyway, Tom Liberatore is having a shot from 50 metres out, straight in front, and hooks it badly.
Same result anyway, it was behind.
First score on the board for the Bulldogs. They're one behind. Melbourne 117. Early stages, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores and a wide range of electrical and lighting products. Expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
True word spoken, Joey. Brayshaw goes short to McVie. Playing his first game for the Demons. Goes short to Langdon, just outside defensive 50. So the Demons in their defensive half at the punt road into the MCG. Langdon right on the boundary line. He switches back to full back. Where Lever's loose. He marks and plays on, wants to go out to the outer side, and he finds Hunter, the former Bulldog, marks and runs. Onto the left boot, usually uses it well, puts it out in front of Tommy McDonald's, got it on the bounce. Nice little tap over the top to Pickett, who's 65 out. Goes short and finds his teammate in Chandler. Little short ball to the pocket of Big Max. And Gawn marks, left forward pocket, city end, about 25 out. about 8 metres inside the boundary.
Great forward craft there from Maxi Gawn. Looked like he was going to call it in long, put it on his head for the big man, and then he just ticked straight back up at the kicker, made the kick so much easier and got it out on a lead.
So the big man just sucking a few breaths back, spins the footy in one hand, and then starts to wander in for his shot on goal. 31 years of age now, the big man, captain of the Demons. They've got one for their second goal, early first term, and he slotted it. Demons 2-1-13, the Bulldogs are one behind. That's all on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, 10 minutes into the first term.
Well, there was just some selfless acts there by the Demons, especially around the middle of the ground, but they were just able to keep the ball going, keep it going forward. McDonald, just that little tap to Cozzy Pickett, knew the pressure was coming off. One thing that English didn't do, he had to come off his man, but he needed to kill that ball. Didn't kill the ball. Cozzy Pickett could have blazed away, but just looked laterally and used that ball very, very well. But it was just a nice flow of play, I think, for the Demons there.
Yeah, and at the moment it looks like the D's are moving the ball from their back half at ease. They're just going slow until they see an opening and then just slingshotting either down the far side or straight back through the middle. Bulldogs need to tighten up their defence.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments tonight. Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy, Seabus Super making hard work pay off. When the Demons are looking sharp on offence early, they lead this one by 12 points. Grundy in the ruck. His tap couldn't find Oliver. Taken away by Bailey Smith. Drives a deep ball into the pocket. Lever could have taken his 30th set mark. Decided to do the disciplined thing, punch that ball out of bounds, right forward pocket for the Western Bulldogs.
He just reacts so quick from those high, long balls. So what they've got to try and do, they've got to try and go around him at some stage. May's not there. You've only got to deal with that one key defender that's good at reading the ball in the air. Go around him.
Chris Johnson here tonight with Kate McCarthy. And the boundary throw-in sees big Brody Grundy slap it down back pocket to Oliver. Got to get a rush kick out of that pack. Bounces outside defensive 50. Ed Richards claims it, gets around Spargo. Drills a drop punt to full forward. Massive pack. Big fist in that pack, sees the ball head to the boundary line. Demons will get there first. It might have been Neil Bullen who went short to Chandler, but it's cut off by the big man for the Bulldogs. Then Brucey's dragged down the tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Ball spills. McDonald's got it. Gives it over towards Laurie. Gives it over to Petrarca. Clean hands back to Tom McDonald.
And they're away again here in Melbourne. Ben Brown on the lead. Cozzy Pickett running really hard inside 50. It's a beautiful kick and a great run from Cozzy. He is causing the Bulldogs all sorts of headaches early in this game. And he'll go back to try and kick his second.
He ran for the middle of the ground there, Joey. He's seen the ball turn over. He was actually in line with the football. And as they went lateral, he was able just to get on his bike and get there. He was out past the Bulldogs' defence by at least 20 metres, Kate.
So Cozzy Pickett, the hottest player out of contract in the competition. The Demons will be wanting to sign him. And he's left that one out to the right. Disappointing. 2-2-14. Bulldogs one behind. Early stages. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, and Jono, that's exactly right. They need the defenders or the mids, wherever he's playing. They've got to keep him in front of you. You can't let him get goal side on you because he's that quick. There's no way you're going to track him down.
Bailey Dale plays on from full back for the Dogs. Goes to Ugle Hagen, but Hunter was onto that. And he sprinted to make the contest and thumped it out of his hands out of bounds. So the Bulldogs have it in the back half. The Demons 50 around from their goal at the city end of the ground. They're 2-2-14. The Bulldogs one behind. 13 and a half minutes now into the first term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Spins back in. Lob thumps to the front of the pack. Laurie's underneath it. Treloar claims the footy for the Dogs at half-back. Hand pass off to Daniel. Another one to Bontempelli. Drills it right through the centre of the ground looking for Johannesson. He rolls and tumbles but didn't claim the footy. Tomlinson, nice hands to Oliver. Another one to Neil Bullen. They're on the charge now, Melbourne. Short one in front of the wing, broadcast side of the ground. Bounces for Sparrow. Picks it up in front of the members and kicks back inside. But Caleb Daniel slotted in between him and Spargo beautifully and took the mark.
50.
That's against Charlie Spargo. Just cribbed over the mark. So Caleb Daniel will be able to come up to the wing. Right on the Toyota logo. Under the pump early here, the Western Bulldogs. Just the one behind Melbourne. All the attacking 2-2-14. And creatively just goes short on the left to Duray, who handballs back to Caleb Daniel, who kept running. Now he goes low and hard, looking for Darcy. Gawn's got back in defence, supports. Scott at ground level, tries to pick it up. There's Grundy, the other ruckman. Now here's Sam Darcy from the boundary. Has a flying shot across the face. Just sneaks through for a behind. 2 behinds, the Western Bulldogs. Melbourne 2-2-14. Triple M Beacon trade scoreboard, 14.5 minutes, first term.
Just signs early of what that forward line's going to look like. At that point, the ball was brought to ground. The only person that was anywhere near being front and centre was Rory Lobb. Probably not who you want crumbing down at their feet.
So Bowie called the play on from full back at the punt road end. Long drilling ball outside defensive 50. And the Demons mark outside. And it's the big man. And Langdon goes short and finds Oliver. Oliver defensive side of the wing, outer side in front of the Shane Warne stand. Drives it across the wing. Grundy in front of the pack. Punched out of his hands. Ball hits the deck. Ed Richards claims it immediately. Tackled by Brayshaw. And the umpire will call for it right on the edge of the square. Just forward of the wing, outer side for Melbourne.
Already done that way, guys.
Rory Lobb in the ruck. Tim English having a spell. Grundy, Bontempelli having a big first term. Trying to will his side to get their first goal and just get into this contest, because Melbourne are controlling the game at the moment. Again, Lever won the intercept and was able to get around Sam Darcy. Goes to a one-on-one. That's Gawn and Bruce. And Gawn, too big and strong, took the mark. And then goes to his tap brother, Grundy, centre half forward. Cozzy Pickett against free in the pocket. Cade Chandler's short. Just took a bit too long, did Big Brody. Now Dogs get numbers back. And Brody Grundy's going to go back like he's going to have a shot.
And this all gets set up from the back half again. It's Lever. The backs are just so more reactive at the moment. The Melbourne defenders against the forward line of the Dogs at the moment. They've got to react a bit quicker, the forwards, for the Bulldogs.
So Grundy will have his first shot at goal. Gawn's already got one. He's going to have to kick this every bit of 55. And he sprays it towards the pocket, straight to his ruck counterpart, Rory Lobb.
That was smart there from Grundy, though. He took the mark at about 53 out, and the Bulldogs player then straight dropped outside that 5-metre zone. So he knew that he was probably going to be able to have the shot from inside 50. Really smart to then go back and realise that he can't actually then take the mark again.
Kick outside to Norton. It looked like he took the mark, but the free kick was paid back to Grundy in the marking contest. So Grundy in front of the members, 70 from Melbourne's goal. He's gone to Big Max. His fellow ruckman again inside, slipped through his fingertips. Pickett had it, ran into trouble, got tackled, dragged to the ground. Tried to break it, got pinged, free kick to the Dogs. English to take it in the back pocket.
So Timmy English, short to Bruce, playing in defence for the Western Bulldogs. Of course, no Ryan Gardner for the first few weeks with an elbow injury. Goes to Bailey Williams, still inside their defensive 50. MCC side of the MCG. Melbourne 2-2-14, the Dogs 2 behinds. 7.5 minutes left into this first quarter. Caleb Daniel, Liberatore was working hard, well read by Lockie Hunter. Came off his man, got the fist in. Melbourne have the numbers at ground level. Liberatore, though, was able to squeeze it out to Bailey Dale. Now goes towards half forward, but overshot the kick, looking for Johannesson. And out of bounds on the full.
Their system isn't working at the moment, the Bulldogs. They went out to that far side in front of the Shane Warne stand when they had all their tools right in front of the broadcast side. It was the wrong option. They needed to come through this wing here in front of the broadcast.
Bowie for Melbourne, long kick across the wing. Gone up, hands on it, not paid the mark, went back onto it ground level. His hand pass is smothered out of bounds. Choice Hotels around the grounds, Heath. What happened earlier today?
Early today, straight off the back of Port Adelaide, 54 points over Brisbane. Big game, that one. North Melbourne as well. First win under Alistair Clarkson, 5 points over the Eagles. Harry Sheasel, 34 disposals, most on debut in the AFL era.
And what are we keeping an eye on tonight other than this one?
About 15 minutes time, Gold Coast v Sydney.
Again, the Bulldogs win the clearance, but again, Melbourne have just set up so well behind the ball, as Chris Johnson's told us, and they win it back. Lockie Hunter goes short to Clayton Oliver, called to play on, just inside the boundary line on the wing. Goes towards half forward, Grundy in a one-on-one. Ed Richards been very good to start this game. Won a big ball and handball to Bontempelli, who's found himself in plenty of space today. Went for Lob, missed him. Out the back, Petty, wrapped up by Norton. How's the umpire going to see this? Holding the ball. He tried to take on the tackle, did Petty, ducked the head. It was the right call. And Aaron Norton will have the free kick, point of the square, half forward. Goes to the opposite point of the square to Tim English. Gawn had dropped off him. Looking for the long kick inside 50. So draws Gawn out to the mark. Tomlinson's on lob in the goal square. Jamari Ugle-Hagen's lurking and so's Norton. Neither can take the mark. Tomlinson, ground level, tried to squeeze one. Smothered, picked up by Bontempelli. What a first quarter he's having. And he snaps the goal for the Bulldogs. And I said he was trying to will his team into the contest, and he's just done that. And they needed it. They're 1-2-8. Melbourne 2-2-14. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, Melbourne are claiming they're pretty adamant that was touched. So we do know that all of the scores get reviewed. So it'd be interesting to see if they do officially review this. But I didn't see which Melbourne player it was, but they all turned straight to the umpire and said that they thought that was touched.
The Red Z lending stats should shock no one. Marcus Bontempelli, number 1 ranked player on the ground at the moment. 10 disposals, couple of clearances, as well as that goal as it stands at the moment.
And what I liked about that entry too, Kate, for the Dogs is that they drew, you called it, Joey, they drawed Grundy out of there, or Gawn, sorry, they drew Gawn out of there, so then they could actually go along and have even numbers back there. They've got to look at that all night. They've got to try and man him up or either draw him out of that forward 50.
Harvey Norman replay. Looks like it's all clear. No, the umpire's going to... No, I thought he blew the whistle to go back. Fooled old Bez. Harvey Norman replay. Say hello to great mobile deals on now at Harvey Norman. Shop in store or online. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Petrarca at the fall of the ball again for Melbourne. A kick now just here to the wing broadcast side of the ground. Bouncing footy picked up by Harms. Goes low with a nice little drop punt into the arms of his teammate Spargo. Couldn't complete the mark. McRae at the fall of the ball. Little hand pass to Caleb Daniel. His low ball cut off by his own teammate, but he slaps it down for Treloar. Hand pass still on the wing here to Duray. He's dragged down and a tackle by Bowie. Treloar goes again, but can't claim the footy. Spargo's got it. He runs it along the ground to Petrarca. Dale just released his own hands, threw him up in the air, allowed him to pick up the bouncing ball, got it to Langdon, dragged that in a tackle. Caleb Daniel picks it up and kicks to Norton.
Good pressure by the Dogs. They win the ball back, but Aaron Norton took the mark, looked up and saw Lever on his own inside 50. So he's just going to go laterally to Alex Keefe. Made him stretch low and hard to take that mark as Norton comes in as a spell. Sam Darcy will come back on. This ball right next to the interchange gates. And it's going to be a high kick towards English and Gawn. Dogs are queuing up front and square. McRae to Treloar to Bailey Smith. Off one step. Top of the 50. Harrison Petty kept his eye on the ball. So did Scott. Now they've got to be careful, Melbourne. The pressure comes. It's Mitch Hannon. Another former Demon. A few players out here that have switched clubs. And we'll have a ball up 10 metres out from the Dogs' goal.
Great contest from both players there, Harrison Petty and it was Anthony Scott from the Bulldogs. Just both kept their eye on the footy.
Gawn and Darcy. Gawn wins out, gave a clever little underground handball to Harrison Petty, who kicks it high to the top of the 50. Cosy Piggott's had a nice first turn. Handballs back to Ed Langdon, who again just kicks a real high ball. And Tim English stands under it, takes the mark about 70 metres out, tries to square it up for Richards. Tom Petty read that really well. And now the Dogs will get it back. Daniel to Richards, who has Duray short, but he wants to go longer. Jamari Ugle-Hagen's in the contest. Lever with the fist. And then McVee, the first gamer, happy to take the tackle, although the umpire will let him play.
Yeah, he still is letting him play. And Smith's got it at forward 50. Hand pass back to Duray. He's high up and under. Kick it, stayed in play. Dangerous ball here for the Demons. Tap back to Ugle-Hagen. He's had a snap. It's a high ball, but it's across the face. And through for a point for the Bulldogs. 2-2-14 Melbourne. And 1-3-9 the Bulldogs. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores. A wide range of lighting and electrical products and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
Demons lead by 5. Just over 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. From the kick in, they go towards Petrarca. Gawn just dives on the footy, knocks it forward about 15 metres, but Bruce was the first one to read it, attacked it, got it to Daniel. Now Treloar can tuck it under the arm, take a run and bounce, draw his opponent. McRae 65 out, goes wide, looking for Jamari Ugle-Hagen. Good build-up. Best passage of the night so far for the Dogs. And Jamara will have a shot 48 metres out in a 45-degree angle.
Much better setup behind the footy now that the ball's gone inside 50. They've been able to build the wall. Melbourne can't transition the way that they could at the start of the term, so much better. And their ball use going forward, they're using a few more handballs around the contest, which has to draw the Melbourne defenders up. They can't all just hold back and try and intercept the footy.
Came of age last season, Jamari Ugle-Hagen. He's going to be a special talent, and that is an absolute beautiful kick of the football. Straight over the goal umpire's head from 50. And the Dogs take the lead for the first time tonight. They're 2-3-15. Melbourne 2-2-14. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard last couple of minutes first term.
Well, they've had a good little period at the moment, the Dogs, of actually going forward. They've been getting it there. They haven't got the results. They haven't been able to get the marks, but they've been able to keep the ball in there for a good amount of time. And now that was a repeat forward entry, what they had a few times, and they just went to the fat side. It's an old cliche from a coach, is just go the fat side whenever in doubt. When you try and get repeat entries, don't always go back to the same spot. Identify where the space was, and right there they were able to identify the space was on the fat side. Hugo Hagen, beautiful lead, just out to space, nice mark, nice kick.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Don't forget at Macca's at the moment. Head to Macca's for 10 chicken bites for just $3. What a one-handed grab. 10 for $3. I'd be pulling out 6 and getting 20. Bounce is good. Well, I just think it's substantial. As English has got it, hand pass back towards Dale. He runs off half-back, but he was under pressure. His hand pass went straight to Grundy. Another little one to Pickett. Gets it back to Grundy. Still pushes forward. Hand pass Petrarca. One look from 48. Long drop punt. Close. Touched on the line. Touched on the line. And through for a behind for Melbourne. So scores at the moment. 2-3-15 apiece. All tied up on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 2 minutes to play.
Oh, Caleb Daniels taking the kick in. He tried it. Bailey Dale missed him by about 10 metres. So it goes to Rivers, who pops it over the top, and the mark is taken by Sparrow.
Right decision, Joey, but just poor skill execution there. He was certainly on it. Probably need to use his hands rather than his non-dominant foot, but right decision, just poor skills.
So Tom Sparrow will line up from 50 metres out on a slight angle.
Yeah, straight up.
To give the Demons the lead again late in this first term. Nice kick of the football. They get the quick response. And they're back in front. Melbourne 3-3-21. The Bulldogs 2-3-15. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. We're going to get down to Robbo. Bob Jane T-Mart's a bit of a concern down the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's Alex Keith, Joey. He's had a fitness test. He's been down in the rooms with the physio and the doctors. It's right side. He's still running along the boundary line now. Little bit of discomfort, so lower leg I think it is, but he'll push through it. They need everyone rotating off the bench. Keith.
Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free deals, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply.
Wondering, Joey, if that was when he was out on this far wing here, really reached for a footy that should have gone straight down his throat. His teammates sold him up the river and put it right out in front of him. Had to reach nice and low, so might be a little hamstring or something the way he was reaching at it. Didn't look too great as soon as he caught the ball too.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Demons out to a 6-point lead. 1:20 left to play in the first term. The Bulldogs out of the centre through Liberatore. Goes to Norton, who smashes the pack and takes a ripping mark 30 out. Sandwiched in between two Demons. Lever was one of them. And geez, he can take a great mark.
They're worth their weight in gold. Like, the ability for him to compete, like, he probably thinks that he's going to get there and compete, but as he gets closer and closer to that football, he starts thinking, I'm a chance to pluck this out of the air, and he did. Strong contested mark.
Quick answer perhaps for the Bulldogs, closing in on quarter time. It's Slews to the left and through for a point. 5-point lead to the Demons as we tick down. 40 seconds left to play. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Just a slight knock with him, isn't it, Ethan? Aaron Norton's goal kicking. If you could tidy that up, geez, he's in for a big year. Chance to win the Coleman, you would think. So inside the last 40 seconds, Rivers will kick it long and wide. Darcy doing the crumbing. That's Sam Darcy for the Dogs. Any numbers? Red Z Lending, Ethan?
Yeah, kicking's been a bit symptomatic of the Dogs all quarter so far. 8 clanger kicks to 4, so double them. 58% by foot to Melbourne 73.
Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed. REDZED.com. We're inside the final 20 seconds. Gawn again, taking some territory. Kicks it along the ground. And once again, it's Bruce reading it first and flicking it out to Caleb Daniel, who's had a bit of ball. Gave it to Oscar Baker, the former Demon, towards the wing. English, clever, didn't take possession. He tapped it over the back. You heard the voice of Bailey Smith, who goes for Norton. Great courage by Harrison Petty. Got in the way, chopped it off, gave it to Lever. And that should see us out for an entertaining quarter of footy. Two teams with big aspirations in season 2023. The Demons got the jump, the Dogs responded, and a late goal to Tom Sparrow sees them lead the Western Bulldogs by 5 points. Melbourne 3-3-21, the Bulldogs 2-4-16. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
The Bulldogs on Triple M. That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, a wide range of lighting and electrical products, and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
Head to Macca's for 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a one-handed grab.
You three mates choppered into this year's Formula One Rolex Australian Grand Prix. Not too shabby.
Well done.
Yay.
Short list win.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
Here we go.
Tickets to all 4 days, paddock and pit tour, plus $2,000 to spend on merch.
Hey, this is Thomas from Bentley.
That's from Packing 'em Upper.
Cameron from Brunswick.
And I know
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show.
Listen closely to Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show anytime 6 to 9. Then answer a question while you're working. That's it. Your next crack Monday morning.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blend for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
40 crispy chicken McNuggets are for friends. Together with tangy Cajun sauce, close friends only. Pick up juicy chicken and tangy Cajun at Macca's drive-thru today. Select items available for a limited time.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. For 43 years, National Tiles has consistently given our customers the best value for money tiles in Australia. Here's proof. Magnificent polished Verona floor tiles. National Tiles' best value price of $39 is over 20% below the market. That's right, 20% below the market every day of the year. Yes, I personally guarantee you National Tiles has the best value for money tiles in Australia every day of the year.
G'day people, Mick Malloy here. Right now, when you purchase any Energizer Lights product, you can go in the draw to win a hybrid SUV. Grab a torch or headlight for camping or even DIY. Get one of the best lights. Brighter lights get the job done right. The best bit, the first 750 entries will win a double movie pass. And the hybrid SUV will be driven away by one lucky winner. Just purchase any Energizer Lights product, then head to energizerpromo.com to enter. Energizer Lights for longer lasting adventures.
T's and C's apply. See website for details.
Thanks to KO Sports, Triple M's Rush Hour is getting out the crystal ball. Listen to JB and Billy weekdays from 4 to hear their footy predictions. Then see if they come true on KO Sports. Get the game you want when you want this footy season on KO.
When it comes to cars, you want to make sure you're getting the right advice.
Because not only do cars sound like this anymore, they can also sound like this.
In our new podcast, in partnership with Car Sales, What's Under the Bonnet, we'll bring you expert commentary on all things electric vehicles, cover the latest EV news,
and meet the people already driving them.
Search What's Under the Bonnet where you get your podcasts and download the Listener app now to listen for free.
Listener. Don't lag behind. Get award-winning internet that just works. Switch to Aussie Broadband's unlimited data NBN plans from just $59 a month at aussiebroadband.com.au. Pricing based on starter NBN plan.
It's time to meet the pack. Check out the Husky range of skid steer loaders, mini excavators and scissor lifts. Top class pedigree, loyal and hard-working for the toughest earth-moving and construction jobs. See the full range at huskyconstructionequipment.com.au.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Tough on and off the field.
5 points up at quarter time up Melbourne. They're 3-3-21. The Western Bulldogs 2-4-16. Been looking forward to this one all week. A big team here for Triple M tonight. Jay Montagna, we've got Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Mickey Roberts and Ethan Meldrum on the Triple M Reds lending stats. Eth, thank you very much. What do they tell you at quarter time about this lead of Melbourne to buy 5 points?
For Reds said lending, Barry, 69% by foot the D, so very good by foot. Dogs, though, lifted their pressure last 10 minutes. Pressure factor jumped to 200, well above the AFL average. 6 of the last 9 inside 50s of the game. Leading players on the ground, Petrarca 8, Cozzy Pickett, number 1 ranked player with 7 touches and a goal, 4 score involvements as well. Leading ball winners so far, both the Dogs, Caleb Daniel 11, Marcus Bontempelli the 10.
Yeah, lots of good pressure from both teams. I think Melbourne got the jump on them early, but the Dogs were able to stem the flow a little bit. They held up quite well in the second part of that first term and wrestled back momentum to be only down by 5, which I think was probably a pretty good result for them given the start of the quarter with how easily Melbourne were transitioning the ball from the back half to the forward half, Jono.
Yeah, and it all came back to that back six, didn't it? Lever was certainly leading the charge there. They had a few tools there, as we know. That's all been talk of the week around the 4 tools in the Bulldogs forward line, and normally they weren't really getting to the end of the ball or getting on the end of it. And what the Dogs need to do is just lower their eyes a little bit. If you've got those 4 players, those 4 tools leading out and presenting, you've actually got to lower your eyes and actually use them. At times they're just trying to bomb it long, and that's where Lever is most at his comfortablest, is it when it's a long pressure ball high. He gives his opponent no respect whatsoever. He's backed himself in to mark it or spoil it. So if they did need to lower their eyes a little bit and hit up those big forwards that are on the leads.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They had the 4 tools down there, and we were wondering how that would work. And you'd think with 4 tools, you'd probably see lots of marks on leads, things like that. I think they're all just sort of wanting to be the target that the ball goes in long to, rather than getting on the move, get Lever out of the space, lead past him so that the person behind you can then take the grab.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Melbourne start the second term leading by 5 points.
It'll be Grundy doing the ruck against English. Petrarca and Bontempelli. They're all in there, Baz. All the big guns.
Yes, they are. Joey, they're all there.
Another secondary stoppage. Neither ruck can get their hand on the ball. Liberatore down low, but it's Grundy who tries to shovel it out, but only as far as Bontempelli. Big first term. Liberatore screws it around the body. Brayshaw was on his own. Dropped the mark. Nice pick up. Hannon fed the handball to Treloar, who's on his left. 52 metres out. Goes looking for Norton in the pocket. It was in front of him. He tripped over anyway. Ball goes out of bounds. Right in front of our man, Mickey Roberts. Bob Jane team, Marks.
Yeah, good news. Alex Keith, they worked on a left quad. Hip flex up around that region. It was stretching out for a ball, but he's back on the ground now. So that is great news for the Dogs.
Bob Jane Team Arts have a great buy 3, get 1 free deal, plus instant cashback. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply.
So the Bulldogs inside forward 50, 40 around from their goal. Boundary throw in, big pack around the footy that's still in dispute. Liberatore, brilliant. Threw himself at it, punched out a hand pass back of the pack. Gives it back to Treloar. Treloar goes back again. Gives it to Scott, who has a flying shot from 50. That is a long, long ball, and Bailey Williams has put it through. And the Bulldogs have hit the front. 3-4-22 plays 3-3-21. And that's all on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans, tough on and off the field.
Well, Jono, you don't need to lower your eyes if you're Bailey Williams. You can just kick it from 55 out on the run. That was a fantastic finish, but they're able to just get that forward pressure, forward momentum. They kept the ball in there and got another repeat entry.
The thing I loved about that too, Treloar will normally back himself to get around and take the tackler on. He's seen him wheeling around on his preferred foot, Williams, and just gave that little give, and then after it came a little bit of a block as well, and he was able to just to measure that kick. He looked like he didn't even put much effort in that. It almost went about 3 rows to 4 rows back behind the goals. Well done, Dogs.
Going goal for goal now. Starting to live up to the hype this game. Dogs by a point, early stages, second term. They're kicking to the right of the broadcast. Petrarca tries to win this centre clearance. Had a little bobble and then got it and kicked it on the outside of the boot towards the half-forward flank. Keith back out on the field, playing on Cade Chandler. Knocks that ball out of bounds. 75 metres around from the Demons' goal. Gawn in the goal square for Melbourne. Tom McDonald's forward. Liberatore, McRae, Bontempelli on ball for the Bulldogs. It'll be Grundy and English. Ball thrown back in. English did it himself, grabbed it out of the ruck. Bontempelli again. This time drew the handball to McRae. Brayshaw put enough pressure on, forced to kick wide, and Jake Bowie will see that ball out of bounds, centre wing. Broadcast side of the MCG. We see one of our very own, Triple M's Luke Darcy.
Yes.
Watching his son play tonight. That would be a big thrill. No doubt.
Yes. Boundary throw in. Always tough. Parents watching your Child go around out there as Tomlinson marks on defensive 50 for Melbourne. In front of the members, back half for the Demons. They trail by a point now. Both of these sides, 2021 grand finalists. Demons were premiers. Slipped away a little bit last year and both expected to have a real tilt at 2023. The ball's on the wing, through hands, did well Scott, little hand pass to Big English, who goes with a barrel inside forward 50 and a one-on-one. Norton just uses his strength and marks on his chest. 40 out on a slight angle.
I've really liked English's work rate in this game. He's going against two sort of first-class ruckmen. He's actually just competing in the air and then getting after the ball at the same time. But that was a beautiful entry there. Just get it in there fast, high, man on man everywhere. Make sure all the Melbourne defenders are accountable.
Norton trots up to 45 out. Beautiful left foot drop punt. And the Bulldogs are out to a 7-point lead. 4-4-28 plays 3-3-21. 4.5 minutes into the second term on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
And a really good composure there by Tim English. He'd be very accustomed to just looking to give a handball straight away, as you're taught, as any good ruckman is told. But he had to look up and knew that there was no pressure actually coming at him, so he could get the kick in deep and long, and Norton did the rest. It was a really difficult ball coming in. It was pretty much an end-on-ender. He tried to kick a torpedo, but it had just gone end-on-end, and he ended up taking a really nice chest mark, Aaron Norton.
Red Z lending stats, Tim English putting up midfield numbers in the ruck at the moment. Number one ranked player on the ground, 10 disposals, couple of tackles, 3 intercept possessions, score involvement there as well.
That's Triple M Red Z lending stats, Ethan Meldrum. English and Gawn now. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy, there's English again. Grabs his own centre clearance, handballs to McRae, deep ball again to Norton. Well done, Petty, got the hand in that time. That's a good match-up, those two. Dribbling kick, only as far as Bailey Williams, the goal scorer moments ago. Screws it around the body. That's another mongrel high ball, sit under that one. Sparrow tried, couldn't take the mark. Bontempelli flicks it out to Dramara. He's already got one, goes on the outside of the boot and just misses. Dogs started sharp in this second term. They're 4-5-29. Melbourne 3-3-21. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
So the Bulldogs pushing, as Joey said. Bowie from full back for Melbourne. Real short to Brayshaw. Bounced at his toes. Got a bit of work to do here. Bowie picks it up again. Hand pass Brayshaw. It's off the side of his boot out in the full. So in front of the members, the Bulldogs have another chance to push back inside forward 50. Scott, left foot, drop punt, long ball to full forward. Ugle-Hagan will fly! Off hands lob, hand pass Bontempelli. Liberatore now, back to Treloar. Fell to his backside, 30 out from goal. Ugle-Hagan goes again. The Demons are scrambling. Petrarca rush kick back into the centre, but the Dogs are going to come again, Joey.
Yeah, Keith goes short to Bruce, and they'll reload again. And with those tools, dangerous, and they can all take a contested mark. They won't rush it in there. They'll try and draw out some of the Demons' defenders. McRae tried to be too cute. Well done, Petrarca. Read it well, chopped it off. And now Melbourne can get their numbers back ahead of the ball and slow it down. They trail by 8 points.
Yeah, that was costly by McRae. He just dropped that simple mark, which they would have been on. They would have got that forward entry straight up the Dogs.
Goes towards the wing. Keith had front spot, but dropped the mark. Tom McDonald flicked it up to young Bailey Laurie, was wrapped up by Tom Liberatore just next to the centre circle. Bailey Laurie making his debut. Number 16. And now from the clearance, Treloar having a really nice game. He's able to step back on his right boot. Wants to go towards Norton, but Lever had dropped off. And when he does that, he makes you pay. He takes another intercept mark. 30 metres out from his own defensive goal.
He drives it out wide to the outer side. The Shane Warne stands side of the ground has gone. Hands on the footy. Fell out of his hands, but he got an infringement in the marking contest. And he's got it defensive side of the wing. Goes short to Harms in space. Got a player running in Bowie. Little low drop punt towards half forwards. Good. Tommy McDonald will mark. Turns and looks to forward 50. Short pass Spargo. Goes back onto the left. Takes his time. Drops it into the forward pocket. Big Benny Brown. Puts it on his chest, but he's on the boundary line. About 25 metres out right forward pocket.
Tough going there for the D's. They just had to hug the boundary line all the way. The Dogs had the corridor covered. They looked inside a couple of times, but nothing was on. They had a couple of players forward of the ball. They needed to go that way.
So Benny Brown for his first major for the season in 2023. If he can slot this through, he's going to go for the check side from 25, and it's good. It's good. Turns around with the fist pump to the crowd behind the goals at the punt road end. And Melbourne bite back at the Western Bulldogs. 4-3-27 they are. The Doggies 4-5-29. Good game of footy. 8.5 second term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Classy finish there from Ben Brown. Very no-frills footballer. Beautiful work on the check side. But you're exactly right, Jono. That's all they gave them. But as any good team does, you just take what the opposition does give you. Went all the way around the outside of the boundary and were good enough to finish off with a goal.
Taking a look at the Triple M Harvey Norman replay. It was a good build-up, perfectly described by Kate McCarthy. Tom McDonald, they just took the obvious. Short to Spargo. He waited for Ben Brown to do his work. Say hello to Great Mobile Deals on now at Harvey Norman, shopping store online. We're back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Gawn again just tries to take some territory. Gets it to centre half forward. Ed Richards met front on by Cozzy Pickett. Squeezes a little ball out only as far as Harms, who tries to go towards Benny Brown again. Just over his head into the pocket. A few players slip. We've spoken about slipping on the surface this weekend. Brown kicks it to the top of the square. Chandler has to sit under it. Almost took the mark. Petrarca front and square. Well done, Scott. Terrific tackle. Not many can strip Petrarca. He was able to. And now there's a hard ball in the pocket. Eventually we'll have to ball it up. Good scrambling defence by the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, Scott also got the fist over the top to affect the spoil on the mark for Chandler, and then got back to his feet to get that tackle on Petrarca.
Bulldogs up by 2 points. Got it in the back pocket. Hand pass comes out to Treloar. Runs the kick along the ground outside defensive 50, but it's going to come back. Arms breaks the tackle. Kick was smothered. Went again. Picks it up. Hand pass to Oliver. Real high ball that'll land 5 metres out from goal. 3 Bulldogs. Liam Jones has got a tackle by Chandler. And the ball slips through his fingertips and goes through for a rush point. Pressure right on at the MCG. Dogs hang on to a 1 point lead. 10.5 second term.
Well, that was their third inside forward 50 for the quarter compared to the Dogs 7. They just look a little bit more dangerous at the moment, the Melbourne Footy Club, when they're moving forward.
Caleb Daniel takes it safe from the kicking, goes to the pocket to Ed Richards, who wheels, and again, Norton standing tall, taking a strong mark. Having a good game, making his presence felt in this quarter. Pops it over the top, just forward of the wing. Bailey Williams. Thought about giving it to McRae, instead thought better of it. Coming board to Bailey Dale, the better kick, long to the top of the square. Norton's in the contest, lob it is. Couldn't take the mark at ground level. Johannisen has a little fumble, but has time to spin around on the right boot and snap another one for the Bulldogs. The Smalls are starting to get the work at the Talls' feet. They get their 5th goal. They're 5-5-35. Melbourne 4-4-28. That's on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Tell you who's going to thrive when they come back into this team is Cody Waitman at the feet of these Tools. Obviously, one Tool might make way for him, but geez, when they bring the ball to ground, it looks electric in there. And all of the D's players have had to sort of fly or compete with that Tool because they have so many Tools. They can't peel off them, leaving the front of the contest just open. And Johannisen did that super well. Rolled onto his left, then sold some candy back to the right and got it on his preferred foot.
Kate, what I loved about that forward entry, they actually went over Gorney. They actually made Gorney actually move back. He had to actually step back to actually influence that contest. You don't want to put it in front of him when he can launch himself at the ball. So that's where you want him in the spot. You want him in the spot where he's going backwards, and I thought that was a superb inside forward 50 for the Dogs.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Grundy in the ruck for Melbourne. Taps behind him. Pickett will run onto it. He's got Bailey Smith on his hammer, but he claims the footy. Pickett on hands and knees. Shuffled out the hand pass to Oliver. Kicks to half forward. McRae drops back and marks. In fact, it's Dale who marks at half back. Goes onto his right foot for the Dogs and kicks across the wing. Broadcast side to Big English who marks.
Having a good game, Tim English. Gives it to the runner, Bailey Smith, who was absolutely decked by Cozzy Pickett as he kicked it.
Hello.
Front on, hitting flush. Bailey Smith's got to his feet, so he's okay, but the Dogs are coming in to remonstrate. That looked crude from up here. We'll wait to see the Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Cozzy trying to throw his weight around.
Well, they've got the downfield here, a 20-metre kick for goal. You've got to be careful, the Dogs.
It'll go to Bontempelli. Inside 50, only about 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
And look, guys, we're only talking about 73 kilos here of Cozzy Pickett. So didn't do it. It probably looked worse than what it actually was. So it certainly deserved the free kick down the field.
Bontempelli kicked the opening goal of the night for the Western Bulldogs. Strolls in and hangs it out badly to the left. Just sneaks through for a behind. He'll be disappointed with that. 5-6-36, Melbourne 4-4-28. Kate McCarthy, what do you reckon?
Oh, I think he's in a fair bit of trouble there. He left the ground. He elected to bump, but it wasn't even a bump. He jumped shoulder first straight at him. That did not look good on the replay.
This will be an interesting case about the outcome as opposed to the action, because the action looks crude, but Bailey Smith's got to his feet and seems to be okay. So,
and that's the frustrating thing too from a player's perspective. Whether someone gets concussed or not, it should be the intent or the ability to injure them, because that could have done a lot of damage.
Kick forward to the wing. Petrarca grabs the footy off hands. 50-out hand pass to Wallaby. He's going to be tackled. Snuck out a hand pass. Sparrow. Another one to Spargo. He's kicked partially smothered. It'll bounce into the forward pocket now. The contest. Who's going to wing it? Pickett's got his head over the footy. Richards takes it off his hands for the Bulldogs. Well, Smith was going to mark, and his former teammate in Lockie Hunter made the spoil. And there'll be a ball up at half forward for Melbourne. Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane teammates.
Doctors all over it down at the Dogs. They've watched video of it already, and they had the physio out to Bailey Smith after that heavy clash. I reckon, Cozzy could be in a lot of strife. A lot of strife, that one.
Involved in this secondary stoppage with a tackle. Just taking a look at it again. Harvey on the replay. Chrissy Johnson.
Yeah, that's he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But he's lucky he's not another 15, 20 kilos heavier, Cozzy Pickett, because that would have done a lot of damage to the head of Bailey Smith.
That'll be a big talking point to come out of this game, particularly with the talk about concussion at the moment and everything that's going on in the game. We'll worry about that after, because there's still a good game of footy going on. Quick kick from the stoppage, only as far as the Melbourne defenders. They're all set up. Bowie, Tomlinson, terrific smother from Johannisen. The forward pressure been excellent for the Dogs. Picked up by Scott. Darcy couldn't quite get the handball to Treloar in time. Johannisen goes and mops it up, but then put Treloar under the pump. And I reckon the Dogs will be happy to see that ball go out of bounds. They were swarming Melbourne, and we'll have a throw in halfway through this second quarter. 36-28, the Dogs lead. Good game of footy.
Red Z lending stats, you're all over it, Joey. The pressure in this quarter for the Western Bulldogs, 215 their pressure factor. AFL average is 180, so they're well above the AFL average, the Western Bulldogs.
Ball comes in. Grundy and Lobb wrestle, both miss it. Spills to the back to Bailey Smith. His tackle tried to bounce off the tackle, got boot the ball. Duray had it. Hand pass Liberatore, another one to Scott. Long ball for the Dogs at full forward. 1-on-1 it's Norton. Good thump away, Petty. Got a fist on it, killed the... free kick to Petty in the end. So killed it out of bounds. The ball will come back to him. That true fullback for the Demons.
Anthony Scott putting together a really nice game so far. Some good work up in the forward line and then some good work in the defensive 50. Baz, back to you.
Oh, the ball coming out went straight to Ed Richards from Petty, and he's delivered a nice little pass onto the chest of Ugle Hagan, who's marked left forward pocket, about 10-15 inside the boundary, 40 out.
That's what's so important when you're coming out of your defensive 50. You've got to hit your targets, because everyone else is set up for you to win that ball and setting up for the next kick. And look, that was just a poor skill execution.
Interesting decision too, 4-on-1.
8 points up, the Dogs before the kick. Ugle Hagan kicked one in the first term at the City end for his second goal. He's put this across the face and through for one behind for the Bulldogs. And they go to 5-7-37, the Demons 4-4-28, Joey. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
1 goal 3 now for Jamari Ugle Hagan in this one. He's looking lively. He's moving well. Tomlinson short to Brayshaw. 3 goal to 1 quarter in favour of the Bulldogs. They trailed by 5 at quarter time and now lead by 9. How many inside 50s for Melbourne this quarter, Ethan? Red Z lending?
Red Z lending, inside 50s in this term, 11-4 the Western Bulldogs way, so just 4 entries for the Ds.
Stuck in their back half, Melbourne, and this time Rivers is just forced to kick it to the wing. Gone in front, couldn't take the mark. He's able to mop up though, sweeps a handball to Spargo. Everyone works away from him, so he has time to turn, look at the game, but he goes to a 2-on-1. Ben Brown had Jones and Duray right there, and then I'm not sure what Clayton Oliver was thinking. The ball had gone out of bounds and he just boots it 23 rows back and then wonders why there's a free kick paid against him.
It was just
seriously.
He was having a giggle.
I'm not sure what he was thinking. Look at the Harvey Norman replay.
What's going on there, Kate?
Well, he's absolutely hammered it into about row 26 and then confused as to why it's a free kick, exactly like what Joey said.
Yeah.
He didn't just tap it, Joe. He's given it the full throttle.
Yeah. Oh, big contest. Terrific courage from Alex Neil-Bullen. Backing back when Tim English and Gawn were coming the other way. That is terrific courage. The ball goes out of bounds. Right in front of the interchange gates. Melbourne 28, the Bulldogs 37. 8.5 minutes left, second term.
Good game of footy. And as Joey said, true wing position, broadcast side, boundary throw, and Harms dragged off the kick. It spills for the Dogs. McRae to Treloar to Liberatore. He's clear and got space. Long driving ball inside. Lever brilliant. Lever was brilliant. Read it beautifully. As it floated in and took the mark, the relieving mark for Melbourne on his chest at half-back. Kicks back to Gawn. He gets young Scott out of the way, but didn't complete the mark. Scott will go again. Hand pass back to Bailey Smith, and he drives it back inside.
Norton in a one-on-one with Lever. Lever went to ground. Norton, though, has got 4 demons to beat. That's how quickly they get back Melbourne and support their own. And they wrap him up. He was almost out there, Norton. Lever, the Cardinal Sinners, a fullback. He lost his footing. But Melbourne defenders support and will have a throw up. 10 metres out from the Dogs' goal. Norton, no one went up in the ruck, so he tried to grab it. Harms, though, quickly wrapped him up. Bailey Smith throws it on the boot. Sneaks through for one behind. 38-28. The Western Bulldogs by 10 points. 7 minutes 35 left in this second quarter on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard, Baz.
Well, let's get down to the boundary line to the Victorian State representative and the best fridge stroker I've ever seen in my life. Bob Jane T-Mart's Mickey Roberts.
Hey, Baz, I remember Plugger Lockett drilling a ball up at the Sydney Cricket Ground and took out about 45 people. I don't know what Oliver was thinking. There's some frustration down here with Melbourne. They're not going well. They're not going well at all at the moment.
Spot on, Robbo, and the Bulldogs will go again. They've reclaimed Treloar to Richards. And beautifully weighted ball to Ugle-Hagan at the last second, tapped out of his hands by Big Max Gawn. But the pressure is right on. The Bulldogs now out to an 11-point lead, 20.5 second term. On the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravan's tough on and off the field.
So Rivers, what's time in forward half this second quarter, Ethan? Reds it leaning?
Time in forward half for the quarter. All Western Bulldogs 64%.
Play on! Yeah, Melbourne stuck in their back half, but they might have a chance here because Tomlinson did well. Sweeps the handball to Cozzy Piggott, who's getting the boos now from the Dog supporters. But that's a beautiful kick. Spargo's in space, takes a bounce, runs inside 50 from 45, keeps it low. And the quick transition for the Demons. They get the goal they're after. And they get it back to 5 points. 5-4-34. Bulldogs 5-9-39. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
I love that from Ben Brown. Was just watching him. He was out in the pocket as Charlie Spargo ran towards him. His defender then peeled off him. Spargo still had the shot. For about half a second, Brown was pretty disappointed he didn't get the kick. Then was the first to run up to him and celebrate with him. Great teamwork. That's what you love from Ben Brown.
Two sides, many believe, Jono, destined for the back end of the year. Have you enjoyed the standard thus far of this one?
Look, this standard's been quality. It's been, I really like what's happening in the middle of the ground at the moment, but what needs to happen, especially in the forward line for the Bulldogs, they need to be able to nullify Jake Lever at the moment. He's just getting too much of the ball back there. If they can actually just have someone on him, or almost go to a tagging role in a defensive forward way, they might be a chance.
McDonald's a ream hot water, Triple M rocks footy. Melbourne out of the centre. Petrarca runs away with the footy. Kick towards full forward. Punt road end. Back of the pack, Liam Jones. Back in the Bulldogs' colours. Finds his way back home. And off his hands it goes out of bounds.
They'd have the cavalry to be able to do it too with the forwards that they've picked this week. Just getting one of the talls to follow him around and just bring it to ground at all costs.
Dogs by 5 points. Triple M C-Bus Super Special comments. Kate McCarthy with Chris Johnson tonight on Triple M footy.
Holding, Pickett.
And Pickett,
because he doesn't even know it's his.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't even know. He goes, me.
He looked at the umpire and said, "You're kidding, aren't you?" he didn't want it. He said, "I didn't deserve that." Anyway, he's going to take it. His teammates said, "No, take the kick, Cos." So at the punt road end, he's only got to fire on a 45-degree angle, about 25 metres out.
So those type of holds happen every day of the week and every contest.
Bulldogs lead by 5 points before the kick for the Demons to take the lead. 23 minutes second term. Pickett slots it home. Demons back in front, 6-4-40 to 5-9, the 39. And that's all on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard, 24-second term.
Well, bit in this one now, especially with Cozzy when he's going around the footy, getting a big cheer, as you can hear, from the Melbourne faithful after kicking that goal. But Libba was the one that gave away the free, and after he kicked it, he looked him dead in the eye, screamed in his face and said, how about that one?
Yeah, he's had a big game too. Cozzy Pickett, now number one ranked player on the ground. 10 disposals, 3 clearances, 5 tackles, kicked 2 goals, 6 scoring bobbles as well.
Well, better make the most of it. I think he's going to have a few weeks off, Heath.
And he was involved in the last score as well, where he was able to break it through the middle of the ground and get it outside. So he actually started the quarter in the first quarter really, really well. Then he started the whole game well. And it's just unfortunate that little bump that he's done early is going to bring it all undone.
Yeah, that goal was from a free kick, but he's certainly getting lost in transition with his little flips between the midfield and forward as the Demons again win the centre clearance from Gawn, from McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. This contest has come to life in this second term. Petrarca and Smith. Neil Bullen gets over to support. Bailey Smith guides him out of bounds. 5:37 left in the half. Melbourne by a point. Led by 5 points at quarter time, did the D's. Some of the Red Z lending numbers, Ethan?
Yeah, still Marcus Bontempelli leading the way. 15 disposals and a goal. Christian Petrarca and Trent Rivers the most for the D's, 13 and 11 respectively.
There's another one for Petrarca, getting a free kick again against Liberatore. He's starting to get a little bit frustrated. Back of the wing, Shane Warne stands side, short to Oliver. Choice hotels around the grounds. The other game started on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, not good news for Suns fans. They're one behind Sydney, 5-4-34. Lance Franklin first 2 goals of the game as well.
Kick long down the line from Oliver. Both rucks were there. An underground handball from Grundy. Langdon on the boundary line. Screws it around to about 30 out. Unselfish play. And Charlie Spargo was the first to read it. Slides down low, takes the mark. And he'll have a shot from 30 out in a slight angle.
That's just playing the percentages, bring it inside where if he was to have a shot where he is from. But it was not only just Spargo lining up. There was about another 3 other Demons players just sitting there. They actually could have raffled that off. But smart play. And, geez, Brodie Grundy's handball underneath was fantastic.
Spargo from 30 out. He's got his second of the term. Melbourne have kicked the last 3. And they go to 7-4-46. The Bulldogs 5-9-39. That's on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Liam Jones not looking too well. I know our man Robbo will be all over it, but he is not looking great at the top of 50. He was involved in the contest just before it went inside 50, but wouldn't be surprised if that's a head knock the way that he is looking.
Spot on, Kate. He looks very, very uncomfortable. He's still on his haunches. The trainers are just sort of walking him from the outer side of the ground to here. There's the Harvey Norman replay. What'd you see?
Friendly fire. It was Josh Bruce about to go up for the jump, and Grundy's just worked him off the ball and worked him into Josh Bruce's line of where he was about to launch, and I think it was Bruce's shoulder on Jones's jaw or head, or no, it's his arm. I think he looks like he's carrying his arm really awkwardly.
Well, he's heading towards our man Mickey Roberts, who'll be first with it down there. He's about halfway across the ground at the moment. The umpires, Mickey, are giving him plenty of time for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, he's in a world of pain. He was out for a long time on that outer side, down and out. Took a long while for the doctors and the physios to realise what was happening, but he's definitely favouring the left-hand side. Whether it's shoulder or arm, he'll go straight into the rooms in a lot of pain, Jones. So very interesting to see what the doctor staff, the medical staff at the Western Bulldogs are superb. They're right onto it, and he's supporting. It's actually the right arm that he's supporting as he makes his way down the stairs.
Beautiful work as always, Mickey. Bob Jane T-Marts have great buy 3, get 1 free deals, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. For McDonald's and Remote Water.
Free kick to Melbourne.
Just with that too, Baz, Sam Darcy's gone straight to the back line as well with Jones going off.
So free kick in the centre of the ground to Grundy.
Yeah, that was against Sam Darcy because he didn't get into the defensive goal square at the time. So that was a 6-6-6 rule infringement. So it'll be Melbourne who'll get the free kick. And they'll send it inside 50. Sorry, Baz. It falls to Benny Brown, who's going to snap and get the goal. That was unfortunate. They didn't work it out too well. Benny Brown's got his second of the quarter. Melbourne all of a sudden have kicked 4 in a row. And they're out to 13 points, 8-4-52. The Bulldogs 5-9-39. Did you catch what was happening there, Kate McCarthy, with Sam Darcy?
Yeah, I seen that. It was actually he ran from the interchange gates all the way down there. But there was Josh Brewster was there. He could have just gone into the goal square as well. So they just didn't communicate there, and that's probably a lack of experience of playing down back for both of them, I would have thought.
And they were slow to react on that, and then also slow to react from the free kick out of the centre. So just a couple of steps off for that whole passage of play, and it cost them 6 points.
Red Z lending stats, four goals from Melbourne's last 5 entries inside 50. Western Bulldogs, just the 2 disposals in that time.
For McDonald to Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy underway again. Oliver Brien, hand pass Petrarca. He streams out of the centre. Long ball to full forward. Big Max juggles at 15 out and takes the mark. Brilliant from Melbourne from the clearance.
Just too big, too strong. You've got to get a run at him. You can't let him to sort of muscle you in. And he threw Josh Bruce like he was a rag doll out of that. And then you had Sam Darcy coming over the top. Just couldn't get his reach over that. But you've got to try and get a run at Big Gorn.
So the big fella steps back with the footy. Triple M Seabus Super special comments. The great Chris Johnson with the great Kate McCarthy here tonight. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. And Big Max has just done some hard work. Can he make this pay off at the punt road end? My word, he can. Melbourne have switched the throttle right on now. Max gets his second. And the Demons in a blink of an eye. 30-minute second term, 9-4-58. And the Bulldogs 5-9-39. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, the 1-2 punch of Petrarca and Oliver are turning up the heat here. They've been in and around a lot of contests, none better than that one. Oliver, beautiful handball out to his partner in crime, Petrarca. He knew exactly where to put it for Big Maxi to have a run and jump and not get any defenders in the way. That was really nice centre bounce clearance that led straight to a goal.
Well, they're all over the centre clearances at the moment, aren't they? They're just pumping it out of there. How can you defend? There's nothing worse than being a defender and seeing the ball come through just so freely. I know it's a long, high kick, but as a defender, you don't want to be seeing that coming your way.
No, Baz, some of the Bulldog supporters are getting the shakes. They've seen that before. The great James Brayshaw, bang, 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 bang.
Yes.
And the Demons have put a margin on the Dogs. So they need to respond here. 19 points. They led by 7 points earlier in this quarter. Secondary stoppage. McRae going to get his hands on the footy. Chandler just went in and got it. Flicked out the handball to Petrarca. Throws it on the boot. Bruce, good mark. They needed that, the Dogs, so they could steady it down.
They've dropped Bontempelli back now, so after that stoppage, he just went back, took Bruce's player, so Bruce is now playing as the spare, so they know how important it is to stop the bleeding.
Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Triple M Seabus, super special comments. Seabus making hard work pay off.
Short kick to Edwards. Pickett all over him. He's got him, I reckon. No, high contact against Pickett. Jeez. Ed gets up and breathes a big, big sigh. They were in all sorts of froth and bubble. He runs out of the back pocket. Pickett's got him again. Dragged him off his kick. McRae's going to pick it up at half forward. Got it towards Treloar. Treloar high kick back here to the wing for the Bulldogs. English dropped the mark. Goes again. Punts it out to Norton. Slaps it to Ugle-Hagan. Bulldogs trying to push this forward to the wing. Baker gets a tap from Bailey Smith. And off his hands. Can't control it. Good pressure from Petrarca and Bowie. And the ball goes out of bounds. Jeez, they've lifted a few cogs, the Demons, haven't they?
They certainly have, Baz.
Thank you, Joey. I thought they had. I just wasn't sure when nothing happened.
I thought it was a rhetorical question. No, they're doing well here. The Demons, they've certainly upped the ante. Can the Dogs respond? Hunter thought he was held without the footy. This is all on the wing. Treloar flicks it out to Liberatore. Squeezes one wide. Just bounces inside the field of play. Goes out of bounds. 65 metres around for the Bulldogs' goal. Of course, Ream Hotwater built tough Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install the Ream, Daz.
You'll be satisfied, Joey, if you do, because they are, well, there's none better, basically. Boundary throw in. Gawn works his way to the front. In front of the members, halfback. Claims it for Melbourne. Hand pass to Harms. They're on the burst, the Demons. Hand pass Petrarca. Tucked it under his arm. Tried to go low to Benny Brown. Missed him. Allowed Josh Bruce in. Claimed the footy, hand pass Bontempelli, real short ball to Bailey Smith. And he marks true wing position broadcast side. Another real short 15-metre ball, if that, to McRae, who still stands on the wing for the Bulldogs.
And he goes into the pocket to nobody because Maxi Gawn had drifted back there and took the easiest of intercept marks. Pops it short, just outside the defensive 50 to Brayshaw. Into the corridor to McVie, the debutant. And he has Lever in a ton of space. Takes the mark on the half-back flank. He can run and bounce if he wants to. Instead, he just takes the safe option wide. Neil Bullen, centre wing, 48 seconds left in the half. Dogs have got the extra defender behind the ball, so he has to squeeze a kick. It's a beauty to Petrarca. Change of angles, takes the mark, 55 metres out. He's asking for how long's left. Brayshaw tells him there's enough time for a deep entry and a mark if they can find it. Instead, he kicks it straight back to Joshy Bruce.
Well, Landon sort of slipped over as it came in, and Bruce, deep back pocket, has taken the mark. Just seconds left in the second term here. As Bruce, out of the back pocket, kicks it out in the full. So, he allows one more entry for Melbourne. It'll be brought back in by Neil Bullen. He plays on. 10 seconds on the clock. Kick to the forward pocket. Pickett caught behind. Footy at ground level, though. Richards has got it wrapped up by Pickett.
Straight up, guys.
And the umpire will ball it up again, right forward pocket.
Tim, Melbourne ruck, Tom.
For the Demons. Throws it in the air. English tap down. They're out of trouble out of the back pocket. Bailey Smith kicks it away. A ripping second quarter of footy. Bulldogs led by 7 points early. And at half-time, it's Melbourne who will go in with a comfortable 19-point lead. They're 9-4-58. The Bulldogs 5-9-39. The great Joe Montagna calling the game tonight. We've got Kate McCarthy, All-Australian AFLW, along with Chris Johnson, three-time premiership superstar for the Brisbane Lions. Ethan Meldrum knows mathematics more than anybody I've ever known. And, of course, Mickey Roberts on the boundary line. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for titanium caravans, tough on and off the field.
For Ream Hot Water.
Triple M rocks footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football. Max Gorn. One thing they always say about Scott Pendlebury is because he played basketball.
Don't they?
Look how much time he's got.
There is two stories that always get called out. One is Scott Pendlebury played basketball, and I had a dart on the way to training.
They're the two.
They are the two.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app. Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for this footy season. With unbeatable offers on beers, spirits, wines and more, pick up a winner in-store or online at danmurphys.com.au before the game. Kick off the footy season at Dan Murphy's. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
40 crispy chicken McNuggets are for friends. Together with tangy Cajun sauce, close friends only. Pick up juicy chicken and tangy Cajun at Macca's drive-thru today. Select items available for a limited time.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. At Bob Jane T-Marts, we have big brands and bigger deals. Buy 3 and get the 4th tyre free on selected Bridgestone, Yokohama and Dunlop tyres. Plus, up to $150 instant cash back on big brands like BF Goodrich, Dunlop, Michelin, Continental, Pirelli and more. Alloy wheels from only $125 and tyres from just $69. All with our best tyre price guarantee. At Bob Jane T-Marts, we'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
When it comes to cars, you want to make sure you're getting the right advice.
Because not only do cars sound like this anymore, they can also sound like this.
In our new podcast, in partnership with Car Sales, What's Under the Bonnet, we'll bring you expert commentary on all things electric vehicles, cover the latest EV news,
and meet the people already driving them.
Search What's Under the Bonnet where you get your podcasts and download the Listener app now to listen for free.
Listener.
Tradies, Beacon Trade now works harder for you with better referral discounts and free Beacon design services for you and your clients worth up to $250. Join Beacon Trade today and discover all the benefits. T's and C's apply.
Imagine driving away in a brand new Lexus. Get your Royal Melbourne Hospital Home Lottery ticket early and you could be cruising in luxury before you know it. There's 4 Lexus hybrids to be won. Plus, your ticket could win the life-changing $5 million grand prize in Brighton East, where you could live in mortgage-free luxury. Don't wait. Get your tickets by midnight Thursday at rmhlhomelottery.com.au and support the Royal Melbourne. Permit 10522/22.
Get the family excited for School Holiday U. Whatif.com has accommodation, flights, packages, activities, even car hire. Plus, heaps of hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply. Book now on the Whatif app. Whatif, it's Aussie for travel.
Thanks to KO Sports, Triple M's Rush Hour is getting out the crystal ball. Listen to JB and Billy weekdays from 4 to hear their footy predictions. Then see if they come true on KO Sports. Get the game you want when you want this footy season on KO.
Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for this footy season. With unbeatable offers on beers, spirits, wines and more, pick up a winner in-store or online at danmurphys.com.au before the game. Kick off the footy season at Dan Murphy's. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. For expert advice and a job done right first time.
This is the halftime break from Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time. MCG Bulldogs Melbourne, and it's the Demons who lead 9-4-58, the Western Bulldogs 5-9-39. 19-point lead after kicking 5 goals in 10 minutes to finish that second term. 2 goals to Pickett, Spargo, Brown and Max Gawn for the Demons. Marcus Bontempelli, Ugal Hagan, Norton, Williams and Johannesson, the goal kickers for the Western Bulldogs. Lee Montagna here with Barry Denner, Kate McCarthy, Ethan Meldrum and Chrissy Johnson. We'll go to Ethan Meldrum first. Red Z Lenning stats.
Well, just those 10 minutes, those 5 goals from Melbourne in that little window. Melbourne 17 disposals to 2, 8 contested ball to 1, 5 clearances to 0. 3 of those goals from stoppage, 3 centre clearances to none. It was just all one-way traffic. Dogs 6 inside 50s to none Melbourne's way. Dogs pressure factor down to 160. It was up well above the 200s at one point, so they just lost a bit of pressure there, the Dogs, in that 10-minute window. Allowed Melbourne right into it. Led by Christian Petrarca, leading ball winner on the ground at the moment. 18 disposals. Right behind him, Max Gawn, number 1 ranked player on the ground. Done a bit of everything. 8 hitouts, 5 of those to advantage. 13 disposals, 4 intercepts. 4 scoring bombs, kicked 2 goals as well. Literally ticking off every stat that I've got here according to Champion Data. Marcus Bontempelli, of course, leading the way for the Dogs. 16 disposals. Ed Richards, Adam Treloar joining him with 16 as well.
Now, Baz, we have a great fun on Saturday nights, Triple M here throughout the season. We have a really good time.
Absolutely.
Kate McCarthy always knocks the socks off it. But this year, Chrissy Johnson is going to be part of the Saturday night team. Dale Thomas has moved on he's moved sideways. He's moved on to somewhere else. We've upgraded with Chrissy Johnson. You've known him for a long, long time.
I have actually.
This man.
Yeah.
What do you know about this man? What can you tell us and the listeners?
Listen, a lot of people on the outside looking in, they think he's a very, very nice person, which he is.
Yes.
He's a terrific person.
Seems nice to me.
Terrific. But they've also thought
You're kind, Baz. You're too kind.
He can be very humble. Well, he's sort of humble in the right company. But I remember we did a trip, a fishing trip, over to a place called Black Point on the Gore Peninsula in South. Beautiful spot for fishing. A friend of ours got a shack, the great Undies over there. And we
G'day, Undies.
Flying over. Jono was in the middle seat. We had the great Cosmograph, former Bomber and former Blue.
Yep.
In the aisle seat, I was in the window seat. Anyway, they had the 2001, the grand final story playing.
Ah, yes.
And on the vision on the back of the seat. And Jono, of course, was straight onto it. And there was a gentleman who was sitting in front of us who had it on. And Jono looked over and he didn't know Jono was there. And Jono sort of leaned over him and tapped him on the shoulder and he said, "Hey, mate, fast forward to the third quarter, I was on fire." That is a true story, he won't deny it. And then I just knew at that moment he's not really an AM operator. He's FM and he's Triple M.
He'll fit in beautifully here at Triple M. Then Kate McCarthy, what did you make of the first half? Because for a big part there, it looked like the Western Bulldogs were doing it really nicely. They were getting a lot of entries. They were dominating territory. But then as Melbourne can do, they flick a switch and all of a sudden, bang.
Yeah, a bit of momentum shift throughout this whole game, actually, through the first and second quarter. But, I mean, it probably would have given the Western Bulldogs fans a little bit of PTSD from that grand final a couple of years ago. Almost looked like Melbourne just flicked a switch and thought, all right, we've had enough playing around with you. It's time that we kick away here. And that's exactly what they did. Those numbers that Heath rattled off, they got all the clearances, 3 goals from stoppage, and then 3 centre clearances as well to go with it. Just their midfield just stood up Gorney, Grundy hitting it down their throats. Petrarca, Oliver just using it beautifully, Jono.
They certainly were, Kate. But just going back to that story, what Baz was saying, and I've got to clear some of that up. It's not a true story.
Oh, Barry does not.
It's not a true story.
Barry does not lie.
But I will tell you, the guy on the way out, he'd watched the third and the fourth quarter. He goes, Jono, you were robbed from the Norm Smith.
This is what he's really like, Joey.
There we go.
But, Kate, you're spot on. And I thought with Melbourne, the ability to get the clearances, but their speed and their spread from the clearances as well, from the congestion in the middle, even when they were boundary throw-ins, around the ground ball-ups as well, was just sensational. They burst it out, they used their hands well, and then they got the ball long and direct as well. And we talked about Cozzy Pickett in the first quarter, how good he was, and we know he had an incident in that second quarter, but I thought he's added another element to his game where he gets up the ground and he can actually carve up the teams as well, and he makes the right decisions by foot.
And they're a team that when they get the centre clearance or any clearance, they don't just get it, bomb it long, kick it round the corner, their shoulders out, they chain it really nicely with hands to a person that's in a great position to then be able to make the correct decision, whether it's a low flat kick to a forward on a lead or whether it's putting it to Gawn's advantage, to Ben Brown's advantage. They just give their forwards the best opportunity.
And the Dogs need to do something about Jake Lever. We spoke about it in that second term, and just after we spoke about it, we've seen Sam Darcy come straight to the bench and go to him and follow him around a little bit before he went back. So they need to work that out, because at the moment, that matchup of Lever and Ugle-Hagan, that is suiting the Melbourne Football Club, not suiting the Bulldogs at all. This
is the halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right the first time. Ethan Meldrum, a couple of big results earlier today and a game that's currently being played up on the Gold Coast.
Yes, North Melbourne, 5 points the margin over West Coast, so their first win of the year. They're 1-0, they're second on the ladder, first win under Alistair Clarkson.
Flag Rouge, they're seeing.
Flag Rouge, they were top of the live ladder there for a while, which was really exciting for a little bit. Harry Sheasel, 34 disposals.
They're all saying it, Baz.
Yes.
They're all saying it.
Yeah. Well, the Bombers yet to play.
Bombers undefeated, of course, Baz. Harry Sheasel, 34 disposals, most on debut in the AFL era. Michael Barlow will be very disappointed to lose his record there. He had 33 on debut, of course, for Fremantle. The game right before this one, Port Adelaide, 54 points the margin over Brisbane. That's a huge win for them. Of course, Brisbane tipping them for the flag or the minor premiership this year. Jason Horne-Francis, I think we have to call him Jason Horne-Francis now legally. He's moved to South Australia. 5 disposals and a goal on
You heard that
there.
from someone else.
I did not hear that from someone else. I've spent a summer with South Australians in a commentary box. It's very annoying hearing listening to them. Game going on at the moment, about not halfway through the second term. 5 minutes into the second term. Gold Coast pegging the margin back. 15 points the margin in Sydney's favour. Lance Franklin kicking the first 2 goals of the game there, so he started with a bang.
That's for Choice Hotels. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it, Baz. And of course, we always love with Saturday Night Footy, and at Triple M here we do the Amy halftime clangers.
Yes.
Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. Well, let's see how we called it, the 17.5 minute mark of the second quarter. I'm not sure what Clayton Oliver was thinking. The ball had gone out of bounds and he just boots it 23 rows back and then wonders why there's a free kick paid against him. Seriously.
He's having a giggle. What's going on there, Kate?
Well, he's absolutely hammered it into about row 26 and then confused as to why it's a free kick, exactly like what Joey said.
He didn't just tap it, Joe. He's given it the full throttle.
Fair to say, he's a good footballer, but he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, Clayton Oliver.
I like the fact that he thought it was hilarious.
Or that he thought that the free kick, that umpire was kidding himself. It's like, well, it's always been that rule.
Hey, we'll take a break because after the break we're going to get to Mickey Roberts for Bob Jane Teamarts, all the injury updates, and I want to get his verdict on the Cozzy Pickett bump.
Yes.
How many weeks?
Yeah.
He'll tell us.
He's the man. That's all coming up next. It's halftime here. Bulldogs trail by 19 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Hey, Joey, say hello to great mobile deals at Harvey Norman.
How good's this? You get the Samsung Galaxy S23 mobile for $13.49 with a bonus $100 gift card.
And you can save $200 on the Samsung Galaxy A53, now $498.
And you can save $200 on the Samsung Galaxy A73, Baz, the 5G, now under $600.
Or the Arlo Pro 4 Spotlight Wireless Camera 3-pack, save $200, now only $798.
Well, that's my favourite one. Say hello to more great deals at Harvey Norman now.
You three mates shop it into this year's Formula One Rolex Australian Grand Prix. Not too shabby.
Well done.
Short list win.
Amazing. Oh, this is amazing.
Here we go.
Tickets to all 4 days, paddock and pit tour, plus $2,000 to spend on merch.
Hey, this is Thomas from Bentley.
Just from packing them up.
Aaron from Brunswick.
And I know
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show.
Listen closely to Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show anytime 6 to 9. Then answer a question while you're working. That's it.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blend for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Sometimes Richmond is everything.
Oh, bad call.
And sometimes reality dating shows are everything.
Oh, bad call.
So, whenever footy is everything, get the footy you want. Every Tigers game, every round, on KO. Whenever sport is everything.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and you're about to hear 2 people cough. One of them has a serious health condition. Could you tell which one? What if I told you that an app could diagnose that condition just from hearing that cough? It's medical breakthroughs like this and the lives that are being changed that you'll hear about in Beyond the Medicine Cabinet, the podcast brought to you by Kuyon Group. Finance for doctors that makes all the difference. Search Beyond the Medicine Cabinet podcast and download the Listener app now to listen for free.
Listener. iPhone 14, now with a splash of yellow, available at Vodafone. Get way more wow with a Super Retina XDR display, all-day battery life, and the most impressive dual camera system on iPhone. And right now at Vodafone, you can save a huge $150 on iPhone 14 when you stay connected to an eligible plan of 12, 24 or 36 months. Make your move to Vodafone. Offer available until withdrawn. T&Cs apply.
Many are doing it tough right now, struggling to make ends meet and get food on the table. But the people that need our help the most are not always the ones you think.
It's families.
And kids.
The elderly.
Those with 1 or even 2 or 3 jobs.
It's people with mortgages.
Those who have just fallen on tough times.
Fortunately, Food Bank is here to help. Help us to help those doing it tough. Donate to Food Bank today to ensure no one goes without. Head to foodbank.org.au.
Here at ABS, we're the car service experts who specialise in all your repair, logbook and servicing needs. Every service is available with our buy now, pay later payment options. Book online or call 13 22 70 to speak with an ABS team member today. ABS, your automotive specialist.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blend for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, a wide range of lighting and electrical products, and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
Half time here at the MCG. Both teams back out on the field, as are the umpires, and it's Melbourne leading the Western Bulldogs by 19 points. Melbourne 9-4-58, Bulldogs 5-9-39. They kicked the last 5 goals in 10 minutes, Melbourne, to turn a 7-point deficit into a 19-point lead. Piggott, Spargo, Brown and Gawn have all kicked 2 goals for Melbourne, all single goal kickers for the Western Bulldogs. And I'm here with Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Ethan Meldrum, Barry Denner. But this man is the one we want to speak to, Nicky Roberts for Bob Jane Team Arts. Plenty happening in the first half, Robbo.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go straight to Liam Jones because he's not even out there. And I reckon, I've looked at the replay about 6 times, Joey, and he gets friendly fry from Bruce, and it comes off his shoulder. So it's his right shoulder, which I reckon is damaged, but I reckon he's copped a double dose and copped it flush on the jaw as well. So that stunned him. That's why he was down on the ground for so long out there. And then when he came towards us, he couldn't even support that right shoulder going down the stairs. So double dose for Liam Jones, I reckon. So that's why he's not out there. So McLean will come onto the ground if that's the case. And the other one's Cozzy Pickett. That's the other one I looked at 7 times too, Joey. The more I look at it, the worse it looks. He leaves the ground. It's the contact, and it's heavy contact. It'll be upgraded. If he doesn't get 2 weeks, a fortnight, going 3, I'm not at the MCG.
Yeah, it's going to be the big talking point out of this one. Bob Jane T-Marts, they have a great buy 3, get 1 free deal, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. As we're getting ready for the second half, Chrissy Johnson, Kate McCarthy, what do the Western Bulldogs need to do, first of all, to get themselves back into this contest?
Look, it comes down to forward entries. Clearances, forward entries. You get your clearances, you get your forward entries. So if they can do that better, what they've got to do is, obviously, if they get the clearances, they know when they go forward that it's going to be 6v6 and everyone's going to be manned up. So lower your eyes again. I thought in that second half, they didn't lower their eyes enough. First quarter, second quarter, but certainly around the clearances, they need to get their hands on the ball. Didn't see, obviously, Bontempelli had a massive influence when they were up and about, but it wasn't able to go through with that in the second half. He played more of a defensive midfielder. I think when you're resolving back to him being a defensive midfielder, you're almost putting up the white flag and surrendering. He's got to get forward of the ball. He's got to get forward of the ball and deliver that ball inside their forward 50.
And the particular clearance that they need to tidy up the most is the centre clearance. They're down 7, so 10-3 in that area, and a lot of those, I would say, have led to either score involvements or directly to goals, and that's just one area that they definitely need to tidy up. But they also, if they haven't won the clearance, put Melbourne's attackers under some more pressure coming out. At the moment, they're just waltzing out of the stoppage, completely square onto goal and just hitting a forward lace out wherever they want.
Well, it's coming at the front door, isn't it?
Yep.
Coming straight at the front door.
And Bulldogs have had to address that in the past, playing against Melbourne. So you'd like to think at halftime they have addressed that. Of course, going into the third quarter, Beacon Trade, they are supporting tradies with over 120 stores nationwide. Expert trade teams and exclusive trade services, a huge range of lights, fans and electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade, let's make light work, as the sub has been activated. That is confirmed, Kate McCarthy.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of trouble for the Bulldogs if Jones is out for any sort of length of time. We know how light on they are back there. Had to shift Josh Bruce back there, so he'll be playing the key defender role now, and without Jones, and if he's not there for a few weeks, that's going to be trouble for them.
Sam Darcy might have to play back. So Toby McLean has been activated. Jakey Melksham still the sub for the Melbourne Demons. Here's Barry Denner to get us underway for a big second half. Welcome back, Baz.
Thank you, Joey and Kate, and of course Jono all over it at halftime for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Good game of footy. 19 points up Melbourne. They had a burst in that second term. What can the Bulldogs do? Treloar gets the first clearance out of the centre, but it was under pressure. Young Laurie picks it up for Melbourne. Kicks back here towards the wing. And Duray got chopped as he tried to run for the footy. Harms running the other way, but he recalmed himself, picked up the ball, kicked the Bulldogs back inside forward 50. Opportunity for Hugo Hagen was caught out of position. McVee's got it. He goes short outside, defensive 50 to Melbourne to Chandler. And he takes the mark in front of the Shane Warne stand. Goes short again. And Hunter, the former Bulldog, has it. With a short ball to Neil Bullen. He's just defensive side of the wing, outer side of the ground. Wouldn't the Demons love to get an early one? Put more space between them and the Bulldogs early. Put the pressure right on. But the short kick from Neil Bullen has missed the target, and Caleb Daniel has marked outer side on the wing.
Comes into the corridor to find Hannon. Bontempelli working hard. He has Treloar as well. Treloar takes the mark. Short little kick, Liberatore. Good build-up. This is the kick Chris Johnson's talking about, inside 50. He goes to a 3-on-1. It was Toby McLean, surrounded by Demons everywhere, and the Demons clear the defensive 50. Tim English been playing like a rover this evening, although that was a little throw. Umpire caught it. And it'll come back to the Demons.
Yeah, the move that the Dogs have done this quarter as well, they've put Johannisen behind the football now, so they're putting him onto a half-back flank.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments tonight. The great Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. The 50-metre penalty for Melbourne. We'll see Spargo now take it just inside the centre square, off the wing, kick towards full forward, off hands, back of the pack, Grundy, the big man chases the bouncing ball, picks it up, runs it along the ground, but shy of the goal post from 5 metres out and kicks a point. 20 points up the Demons. A minute and a half third term, early stages on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
The other thing I'd like the Dogs to see them do is just maintain possession for a little while. They're trying to play at a fast tempo all the time. Just see if they can slow it down a little bit and maintain the ball in their hands.
Well, they haven't listened to Chrissy Johnson yet, because they gave the handball to Caleb Daniel, who ran himself into trouble and turned it over. And now the Demons will attack. Oliver took his eye off it, dropped the mark, but Neil Bullen's got time, and he goes laterally to the 50. Chandler's been good. Little Cade Chandler. Played just the 10 games. Almost been around the mark. A very good VFL player. And this one, he just pops it into the pocket to Gawn. Dogs knew where it was going. They had numbers there. Got the fist in. Johannesson playing at half-back this quarter. Couldn't take it, but Bontempelli did. Got the 1-2. Breaks outside defensive 50 and then hits a dart to Norton.
Norton turns and looks at a real open forward line because there's no one inside the forward 50. So he has to go wide and just hold it up. Out on the wing to Ugle-Hagan. He'll drill back inside to the corridor. Oliver was all over Liberatore, though. Brought it down to his teammate Petrarca. Hand pass missed the target. Opportunity for the Bulldogs to run away. McRae, real low drilling ball. Bontempelli's got it 65 out. Straight in front of goal. He goes to the left forward pocket to Hannon. McVee right on his hammer. And the pressure sees the ball out of bounds.
It was a great exit out of defence there for the Dogs earlier. Bontempelli, he was actually in the marking contest, fisted the ball, followed up and used a handball received, then kicked it in the middle of the ground. They need to get the ball in his hands as much as they can.
Throw in 35 metres out from the Dogs' goal. It's another short throw in. There's been a few of them. So Gawn read it, grabbed it out of the ruck, handball to Ed Langdon, who just kicks that ball out of bounds. Looking for Charlie Spargo. 75 metres out from the Western Bulldogs goal. Just seeing Rory Lobb at full forward. Ethan, Red Z Atlantic stats. Rory Lobb, don't think I've called his name tonight. How's he going?
No, just the 3 disposals, 1 mark, yet to score.
English, been really good. Won the clearance. Handball to Bailey Smith. Goes on the left boot, goes towards Lobb, who was slow to react. Tomlinson read it quicker. Took the mark right in the back pocket.
He runs away, Tomlinson. He's got plenty of space in front of him, so he runs his full 10 to 15. Drives it to the wing, and it was a 2-on-1 against Gawn, easily slapped out of bounds. Big English, one of those.
The last couple of forward 50s have gone in for the Dogs, and Lever is giving Jamara Ugle-Hagan no respect whatsoever. The Bulldogs need to go through Ugle-Hagan because he's got about 3 or 4 metres on Lever because he's sagging off. Go through him. It's the easiest way.
Boundary throw in. English just grabs it out of the ruck. Harms tries to bump him. The big man got boot to ball to Hannon at half forward. He's right on forward 50. Has to extricate himself from about 3 tacklers. Does well. Hand pass to Law. Goes back to Hannon on the boundary line. This one off the side of his boot. Good pressure from Brayshaw. And the ball hits row 6 and out of bounds on the full. How have you liked the Grundy and Gawn combination, Kate?
Well, I was just about to say how well Tim English is going against them. He's really standing up tonight. He's won a number of clearances himself. Working really hard as soon as that ball's hitting the ground. They're obviously working in tandem beautifully, but Tim English is well and truly up to the challenge.
Well, that time Gawn got in front of English, took the mark, chips it down the line to Langdon. Now they've got some run here, the Demons. Handballs to McDonald, who slaughters it. Piggott was running towards goal.
50 metres over the mark.
And that was a tough 50-metre penalty against Cozzy Pickett. Umpire said he just stood over the mark, didn't come back. And now it's going to be Gerate, who's going to run forward to the centre circle, drive it in deep. Again, it was a bit of a blind kick. Melbourne players are queuing up everywhere. Norton throws his hands up and says, I'm good, but I can't outmark 4 of them. And it'll be Ben Brown. He'll kick it long towards Tom McDonald, but here are the Bulldogs' numbers. So there's a bit of kick-to-kick going on at the moment. English. He's going to kick it back to the Melbourne numbers, and it goes straight back to Ben Brown.
It's just the same kick going inside 50 over and over and over again for the exact same result. Whether it's Lever, whether it's Brown, they're just flooding back into the Bulldogs forward 50 and just taking mark after mark because there's no change to the method for the Dogs.
Triple M Super special comments. AFLW All-Australian Kate McCarthy here tonight with Chris Johnson. Through the centre go the Demons. Neil Bullen. Hand pass off towards Rivers, who goes long to Pickett in the forward pocket. Marks hits the ground running. Let him go, Cozzy. Goal to Melbourne. Look at him go. Look at the pace. Pickett's got 3. Melbourne 10-5-65. The Bulldogs 5-9-39. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, that was just the Demons forwards. Obviously, they won the ball in the defensive half, and especially that defensive 50. They chipped it around a bit. But what I watched here, Kate, was then all their forwards came up. And once they got that ball in the corridor and they split it up, they actually then got that ball at the back. It wasn't just Cozzy out there, but Grundy was at the back as well. It's just smart play by the Demons.
Just talk us through the Harvey Norman replay. Kate McCarthy, when we watch this, did Cozzy Pickett just give a little bit of a point as he was running away from Alex Keith? Or was he trying to give a fend off? Let's have a look.
He did.
I think that was a little bit of cheek, Barry. That was a little bit of attitude from Cosy Piggott.
Love it.
He's in that sort of mood tonight.
Yes, he is.
So he should be. He's having an absolute ripper of a game.
He's been on fire, Cosy Piggott. He's kicked 3 goals now. And he's broken this one open. 39-65. Luke Beveridge has got some headaches. Can they stem the bleeding? They haven't been able to start well this third quarter, the Dogs. They've had enough ball. They've just been slaughtering it. McRae from this clearance. High ball to centre-half forward. Jamar Eaglehagen and Lever. Lever one out with the ground ball. Handballs to Tomlinson, who kicks it around the corner to Brayshaw. Hannon with a good chase. Back to McVee. Squares it up, finds Clayton Oliver.
Just with that last clearance of the Bulldogs, McRae just put it on his boot straight away and kicked it. He could have actually ran it out.
Well, Oliver wanted the corridor, but he's missed the target. And Liberatore marks in the centre of the ground. Gets it to Oscar Baker, who flying shot from 45. He's put it through. Former Demon, now Dog. And he loved that. The Doggies bite back at the MCG. Melbourne 10-5-65. The Bulldogs move to 6-9-45. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon making every tradie's job easier.
And that's a much better kick to lower the eyes. I know it was at the top of 50, but that's where it's going to be open, that between 35 to 60 metres out, because that's where the defenders from Melbourne are dropping back from. They're their direct opponents to create the +1. Lower your eyes, hit those, and if you're good enough, like Oscar Baker was just then, have a shot yourself.
And Red said lending stats, that's where they've been letting themselves down. The Dogs, 53% by foot so far tonight. Look at their 3 leading ball winners. Bontempelli, 36%, Treloar, 33%, McRae, 38% by foot.
And if they can tidy up their foot skills, they're in this contest, the Dogs. Red Z lending loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com.
Against Bulldogs. Both teams have a warning. Next one's free.
Both teams have a warning. I'm pretty sure they played a free kick against the Bulldogs in the second quarter for Sam Darcy not being in the goal square. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Grundy from the centre bounce shovels it out to Clayton Oliver. Met solidly from Liberatore coming the other way. Trying to lift his side. English tried to squeeze one out, but it's picked off. And this is where Melbourne have had plenty of run. Sparrow to Laurie. Wide to Hunter. Takes the mark. A metre inside the boundary line, 80 metres out. Bowie running on from halfback, takes the mark.
No one went near him, Joey. After he delivered that ball on the halfback flank, no one went and checked him or anything. They just had a clear passage all the way through to go receive that football. 2
smallest men in the AFL, Caleb Daniel and Jake Bowie going at it there. Bowie kicks it to the top of the square. Oscar Baker kicks it off the ground. Lob trying to get involved. Handball picked off by Langdon, who just kicks a little short ball into the pocket. And little Cade Chandler's having a nice night as a small forward, and he'll go back to try and kick his first goal of the night.
There's a spread from the midfielders all around the ground for Melbourne. They're just outworking the Bulldogs. But as you said, Jono, no one's laying a hand on them. It's pretty easy to run coast to coast when no one puts any blocks or any bumpers on you. Nothing to work through. You can just run at will.
Never kicked a goal in AFL footy, Cade Chandler. Deserves one tonight. He misses. He'll be disappointed with that. Melbourne 10-6-66. The Bulldogs 6-9-45. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 12.5 minutes left, third term. Choice Hotels around the ground, Ethan.
Yeah, Sydney kicking away, nearly half-time in that one. 29 points the margin there over Gold Coast.
Short ball to Duray, who fell over his own feet in front of the members, tried to play on and just rolled the ball out of bounds.
Did he kick it out at the floor? It looked like he kicked it out the floor.
It ran along the ground. That's fantastic. Tells you a little bit about Chris Johnson. Kate McCarthy showing a lot of sympathy. Jono just laughed his head off at him.
The look on Luke Beveridge's face on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay, he looked absolutely dumbfounded.
He did. Caleb Daniels got it at halfback. They're under pressure here, the Doggies. And the kick now coming out of halfback from Ed Richards has gone out in the full, and young McVee gladly claims it in front of the members. Joey goes short to Harms.
Handball's off to Rivers, who kicked it off the wrong step. It's a bit of a strange action, but it goes inside 50. Oliver back to Rivers, under pressure. Bontempelli. Free kick's going to go back to Caleb Daniel for a throw. Umpire didn't let Bontempelli take that advantage. Thought he'd blow the whistle. Short to Treloar, just outside the defensive 50. Trailing by 21 points, the Dogs. They've had enough ball in this third quarter to try and peg back the margin. Norton flies over Gawn, but he didn't get his hand on it, so that'll count as an unrealistic attempt. Even though he can take them from anywhere. And it'll be Max Gawn at half-back, who has Lever in a mile of space inside his defensive 50, so goes that way. Lever has time to stop, have a cup of tea, and then just go short to Harrison Petty. Dogs have all rolled back at the moment, and the Demons are happy to take what they're being given. Tomlinson, short to Oliver. Take over, Barry.
So Oliver, Mark's defensive side of the wing. What's his numbers tonight, Heath?
Clary Oliver, 17 disposals, 5 clearances.
Kicks towards half forward. McDonald came out strong, couldn't complete the mark. Pickett ground level. And was tackled, and the umpire deemed he threw the ball away. Bulldogs will come away at halfback. Baker claims it. Little hand pass off to Bailey Williams. Hand pass back to the running Caleb Daniel. He's right on the wing, takes a bounce, looks at forward 50. Not a lot on offer, so he looked across the ground to see what was on offer. Johannesson's got it, drilling past to McLean, who marks on forward 50 for the Doggies. Ran around the mark, the umpire called him to play on. Pops it into the forward pocket. Norton, brilliant! Flew from the side, has taken a fantastic mark. Lever was in there as well. And he's right forward pocket, only about 20 metres out.
Well, they're relying on Aaron Norton to do a lot of work tonight. That's been the same kick that's gone in and been intercepted every single time, but that was a beautiful grab. We've seen him do it so many times, but that was really well played.
To bring it back to 15 points, the Melbourne lead. Norton, left foot snap. Has he got it? He's claiming it. The goal umpire says no. It's over the goal post. And through for a behind. Norton looks perplexed. The point stands 6-10-46 to 10-6-66. 20-point leaders, Melbourne.
1 goal, 2 tonight for Norton. He's taken some big marks. Just hasn't been able to finish his work. Kick went towards a 1-on-1. Petrarca and Dale. Free kick to Petrarca for a hold. His numbers, Ethan, Red Zed Lenny, Christian Petrarca.
The leading ball winner for the D's, 20 disposals, 501 metres gained as well, most of any player on the field.
It'll make it 556 metres gained because he kicks it 55 metres towards Benny Brown. Couldn't take the mark. Dogs have the numbers. Members side wing, the half-back. Scott at the stand his ground. Tomlinson got the fist in, and it opens up for the Demons through the middle. Sparrow to Harms. Gawn's working hard deep. He's got the sit. He's got the height. Couldn't quite take the mark. Well done, Ed Richards. Just did enough. And then a terrific tackle from Cade Chandler, and Josh Bruce keeps the ball locked in the Melbourne forward 50 to the applause of his teammates and supporters as Melbourne lead this one by 20 points halfway through the third term.
Ed Richards take a bow there. He didn't. Most people go straight to Gawn and try to get contact. He actually let himself have a bit of space to run and jump at that ball.
Lob in the ruck, slaps it down to McRae. They're trying to work it out of the back pocket here, the Bulldogs. Daniel's got his head over it. Sparrow came the other way and laid the tackle. Ball shuffled out the back of the pack. Smith punts it out to Baker. Baker's got Darcy on the wing out of side. Tomlinson closes. Darcy good. Held his ground, the young man. Got the body contact and then hung onto the footy. And he marks in front of the Shane Warne stand on the wing.
Short kicking ball to Treloar and goes short again to Williams.
Well, they have to, Joey, because Lever's just sitting back in the defensive 50 unopposed.
Just got to work out what they're going to try and do here, the Dogs. Williams goes into the pocket. Jake Lever just makes up so much ground. It was a 1-on-1, but then he gets over, makes it a 2v1 and whacks it into the third row. Throw in right forward pocket for the Western Bulldogs.
Max and Aaron.
Go to the inside 50s this quarter, Ethan. They seem to have had their fair share, the Dogs.
Yeah, certainly have. Western Bulldogs inside 50s, 11-6 so far.
For just the 1 goal. Can they get some reward for effort? Norton and Gawn. Gawn slaps it into the path, only as far as Bailey Smith. Tries to score it on the outside of the boot. Dribbling ball in the goal square. Sam Darcy's got a few demons to beat. Scott comes and supports. Melbourne wrap him up. Leader inside the boundary line. Next to the left-hand point post.
Just having a look at the Harvey Norman. They showed Jamara Ugle-Hagan just before as that kick came in. He wants it out in front, not on his head. That's what he was gesturing.
Harvey Norman, say hello to Great Mobile Deals on at Harvey Norman. Shop in store or online.
Thanks.
Ball thrown in the air. The umpire's going to do it again. Punt road end, deep. Gawn, Darcy trying to find a way. A little snap from Baker is smothered for the Bulldogs. They're 15 minutes from their goal. Massive pack around this. McVie sees it come his way for the Demons. Couldn't grab it. McRae back of the pack. Great tackle from Harms. Ball spills to Bailey Williams. Tried to hand pass Treloar. McPhee got in the way. Treloar, McPhee, go to ground, holding the ball. Free kick to Treloar.
Mark's here. Hey, guys. Mark's here. Let's go. Hamzy, don't drag him down. Don't drag him down. Straight to him now. Adam Treloar. James. Stand. Christian. Keep moving out.
Good contest, that one, Jono.
Yeah, really good. I love the fact that the Bulldogs didn't want to let that ball outside their outside their forward 50. One thing that they need to generate as well in their stoppages inside the forward 50, bit of movement going through the stoppage. They are all just stagnant at the moment, but that was a super tackle there by Treloar.
Treloar will kick from 30 metres out. He's about 15 to 20 inside the boundary. Punt road end. Bulldogs trail by 20 points. They're back to within 14. 18 and a half third term. Treloar drags his teammates back in. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Somehow they just keep coming back here, the Bulldogs. Every time you think that Melbourne have probably put the fire out, they do something to just keep in touch. That time it was Adam Treloar, great forward pressure, but what you said before, Jono, there's no movement at their forward 50 stoppages. That's probably because they've got four of the biggest guys in the AFL playing in their forward line. At the moment it's Ugelhagen, Darcy, Lobb. The other small is Oscar Baker and Scott. They're really missing having that real electricity, the quick feet around the stoppage like Cody Waitman provides, or having a couple more down there that can really get on the move.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Gorman with a little party trick to Petrarca. Running onto it was Oliver from 55. Tumbles the left little ball over the top to Benny Brown, who fresh out it the first time and then dribbled it through the second. He's got three. There's another centre bounce goal coming out the front. Luke Beveridge will be pulling his hair out, and the Demons get it back to 20 points. Just like that. 11-6-72. Bulldogs 7-10-52.
Well, looking at the steep bounce on that looked like Mitchell Stark let that rip. It was a bouncer down the other end. That ball just kicked up off a length and then just went straight over the pack. And Ben Brown, who was probably in the worst position of all, to be honest, ended up to fortuitously get the goal.
Yeah, and Red Z Lending stats, centre clearances again, now 12-4 Melbourne's way. Petrarca with the 7 clearances for the game. Oliver with the 5 clearances for the game as well.
Ethan Meldrum on the Triple M Red Z Lending stats for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. You know what I love at McDonald's, Joey?
What's that, Baz?
Everything. But the chicken McBites are beautiful. Hit the Maccas at the moment for 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a handed grab that is. As the ball's pushed forward again for the Demons, and we'll have another ball up just on the edge of the square. Centre half forward for Melbourne. A lot of Bulldogs have gone to half back to try and stem the play here for the Demons, who are continually pushing forward. They can sense it at the moment. 20-point leaders. 21 minutes now into the third term. Treloar tries to slap it away. Ball still in dispute. Ground level ball. Liberatore did well. Hand pass out of the pack. Scott won't get there again. Players from both sides dive on top of the loose footy. And the umpire calls for another ball up. Still in the centre of the ground.
6 minutes 50 left in the third quarter. Still 20 points. They led by 19 at half time, the D's. Dogs, for all their hard work, haven't been able to peg it back. Melbourne again from the clearance. Grundy handballs it only as far as Johannesson, who almost just coughed it up. He just dropped it. But they do well. Bailey Dale really clever to Bailey Williams. He looks up, he sees Lever in a strong position, and he just picks it off again. He was positioned so well, Jakey Lever. Picked up the ground ball, got it to Neil Bullen, rides the Jamara tackle, got it to Sparrow, Brayshaw from halfback, high ball, Harms has to sit under it. He didn't know what to do. Benny Brown does the crumbing. Ed Richards gathers and just throws it on the boot, but only momentarily, because Bowie's in a strong position to lower the eyes and poke it into the pocket to Ed Langdon. Takes the mark, 40 metres out, 5 metres inside the boundary.
Tell you what's making this game by Jake Lever even better, the fact that Stephen May's not playing. There's so much talk about the two of them working so well together. He's done it all on his own tonight. He's organised the back line really well and just read the flight of the ball beautifully.
Going to extend the Melbourne 20-point lead. Ed Langdon on the wrong side for a right footer. He'll have to kick it 45 metres. I reckon this will take his best kick. Strikes it beautifully. Will it sneak in? It hits the post. Good effort. 11-7-73 the Demons. The Bulldogs 7-10-52. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Bailey Dale short from full back, and Caleb Daniel dropped the mark. They're under the pump here. Gawn's got it. Hand pass to Benny Brown, but it slipped through his fingertips. Allows Keith in for the tackle. Hand pass goes straight up in the air. Bailey Williams did well. Hand pass off to Treloar, who's got a little bit of space to work into here. Can run off defensive 50. No one really to kick it to, so he just waited and hand passed out wide to McRae. Kick forward to the wing to Darcy. Got a few to beat in the air. The young man brings it to ground. Lays a tackle trying to hold it up. McVee's got it. Good tackle, Hannon. Too high it was. Not too good. And the free kick will go to Lever, defensive side of the wing for Melbourne.
Brayshaw. Some of the Reds are lending numbers, Ethan. Ball winners.
Yeah, it is Jake Lever having a big game now. 14 disposals, 10 intercept possessions already, going at 91% by foot as well.
Brayshaw goes towards the big boys at centre-half forward, but it was English at the back. Took a strong mark. Been a little bit quieter this quarter, Tim English. Having a big duel against Grundy and Gawn. Goes laterally to Richards. And even further across to Bruce, who sees Liberatore on the wing. It was a good kick, got to him. And now they start to spread forward here, the Dogs. Here's a good build-up. Lob. Hasn't seen much action. The ball was a poor kick down at his shoelaces. And make that intercept number 11 for Lever. Not his best kick, but it got to Pickett. Handball. Rivers. Hunter. Spargo. He goes back and across and comes inboard. Petrarca takes the mark at half-back, and they'll just steady for the time being. Although he goes short to Pickett. And they want to run, but he'll hold it up, Baz.
Starts to go now. Keeps it real low to Langdon. Landed at his toes. Couldn't complete the mark. Richards picks up the spillage. Hand pass to Liberatore. Hand pass to Treloar. Hand pass to Johannesson. Hand pass off to Bailey Smith. The Dogs on the charge. Hand pass out wide to Oscar Baker. Oscar Baker, 55 out, goes to a one-on-one. Darcy. Young man brings it to ground. Can pick it up. Oh, he tried to kick it off the ground. Goes to ground. Picks it up again. Kick was smothered 8 metres out. He's got a third chance. Grabs it again. Tackle. Tries to get boot the ball. Still alive to footy. Norton sees it out of bounds. He had a few goes.
That was like a big lanky giraffe right there.
It was.
Looked like it was a giraffe taking his first few steps when he tried to kick that ball off the ground.
Just didn't get a clean go at it, Joey.
He had the right idea, Baz.
Yes.
Just the brain didn't get down to the feet quick enough. The signal is McRae makes something out of nothing.
Oh.
What a goal! Jack McRae from the stoppage curls it around on the left. Just what they needed late in this third quarter. And they peg it back to 15 points. 8-10-58. Melbourne 11-7-73. That was a class finish.
It certainly was, and we talked about it a bit earlier, Kate, about movement through their 50 stoppages and that boundary throwing. They had a bit of movement outside. Libber got it, dished it out. He likes it on that side, McRae, as well. So that was just a superb kick. He had nothing else to do but other than actually go for goal. He was already pushed up hard against the boundary line. You could argue that he could have centred it, but it was actually superb on the run. He loves those type of kicks.
Some beautiful little handballs out of the contest as well. Baz, you beautifully called it. There was about 4 or 5 chained up all at once, which drew the Melbourne defenders up, which is why we got that forward entry to Darcy and they got the repeat stoppage. I know we took a little bit of the piss out of him, but he did well to get the stoppage where the goal came from it in the end.
Yes, McDonald's, Remote Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Oliver's got it, hand pass to Langdon. For Melbourne, it's sort of a rushed, scrubby ball towards half forward, bounces towards the members over Pickett's head, allow Bailey Dale into it short. Off the ground, he kicks it out of bounds. Mickey Roberts down there, for Bob Jane team.
Yeah, that's where Sam Darcy is. He's completely stuffed after that effort. Seriously, like a giraffe playing Twister. And the cutaway to the old man, that's the one I wanted to see. Luke, yeah.
Yes. Well, no doubt you'll be chatting to him about it, Robbo. Boundary throw in. Still in front of the members here. At the moment, the Demons doing it nicely. 58 plays, 73, 15-point leaders they are, but the Bulldogs have got it on the wing, Joey. And Liberatore's got a little bit of space.
Yeah, had to try and lower the eyes to Norton because, again, Melbourne have just got numbers back. Missed him at the shoelaces, so turned over. And the Demons will flick it around by hand. They all get involved. McVee, Grundy, almost got run down. Petty, back to McVee. Almost going to give it to Oliver. Used him as a decoy instead, and then goes himself along the boundary line. Benny Brown couldn't take the mark. Maxi Gorn with the front and square. Demons have got 2 inside 50. Johannesson dropped the chest mark. Spargo over the top. Chandler's got his chance for his first goal. Snaps around the body, and he's got it. He gets the goal. He gets his first in AFL footy. And more importantly, the Demons get it back out to 21 points late in this third term. And the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, they're 12-7-79. The Bulldogs 8-10-58. And that one might hurt.
Well, the Dogs could have easily just used a dump kick here right in front of the broadcast area, in front of the interchange, but they just linked up. They trusted themselves. They had the run, they had the carry Kate, and the courage as well. They put it in long. I know it was a bit of a hiccup there with Gorn's kick. He had already Chandler out, but it eventually got to him. But it was just the ability of here, that trusting each other, using their hand, using their run and carry with the ball to get it inside forward 50.
And all of the D's defenders then went straight up to Judd McVie from his effort down on this wing. They knew that led directly to the goal, and they got around him like he kicked it himself.
For McDonald's, Reem Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy, 1:56 left on the clock until three-quarter time. As Hunter goes to ground for Melbourne, tried to get boot to ball, spills out to Pickett, hand pass to Oliver, goes out wide with a hand pass to Grundy on the wing. Grundy, a little bit of space. Missed the target. Petrarca ran it along the ground straight to Liberatore. Picks it up, kicks to Ugle-Hagan. Got out in front on the lead, but dropped the mark. Spills to Lobb. Little short ball to Bailey Smith on the boundary line, 55 out. He's missed the target in Scott. And Bowie has marked in the back pocket for Melbourne.
Some easy chest marks being dropped tonight at both ends of the ground. That was an easy one for Ugle-Hagan. I don't think he could believe his luck when the ball landed in his lap.
Minute 20 left in the quarter. Kick long down the line. That's going to be intentional. And Alex Keith, not sure what he was thinking. Slapped it straight out of bounds. Lockie Hunter, like a good ball magnet, was quick to go get it. Kick it inboard to Clayton Oliver. He wants to wheel and get it inside 50 to the big boys. Brown and Gawn are in this contest. Gawn did well to bring it to ground. Then crumbs his own ball. Then sweeps a beautiful handball to Ben Brown, who flicks it over the top to Cozzy, who's already got 3. He's going to run in. Watch him celebrate. He's got 4. He's having a field day, Cozzy Pickett. He's going to miss a couple of weeks of footy, but he's going to make the most of tonight. He's almost been as good as anyone on the ground. And that one hurts the Bulldogs late in the third quarter. He's got his 4th. Melbourne have got their 13th, and they go to 13-7-85. The Bulldogs 8-10-58. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And it's again just a midfielder not picking him up. I think his direct opponent there was Bontempelli, so he got found out. Didn't follow him in. This is working an absolute treat for the Melbourne Football Club. He started in that centre bounce and then worked all the way forward. He's obviously just got a licence to just get on the end of it wherever he's playing, whether that's in the forward line or in the back line. Saw Bont diving late, just couldn't quite get a handle on him. You can't give Cozzy Pickett a metre because he will burn you.
Well, that's the difference around a small forward being in that area, and he's playing in the midfield. He just knows where to run to goals, where I think the Bont was actually peeled off him to actually go towards the ball. He's a ball hunter, but it was unlucky for him.
Triple M Super special comments. Kate McCarthy with Chris Johnson here tonight. The others are looking in and seem a bit flat. Good tackle late. Petrarca, which spills the ball to young Laurie, who's got a player out the back who's marked in Chandler. Left forward pocket for Melbourne. He's just kicked his first goal in AFL footy. And perhaps to become the first time multiple goal scorer in his career as well. To kick his second, thank you. That's all I had, Joey. At the city end of the ground, but as you said, it's 27 points at the moment. And this will make it tough for the Dogs on three-quarter time. Chandler at the city end has got to drop it onto his boot 25 metres out. 45-degree angle. Left foot drop punt. And he's missed. The Dogs breathe a sigh of relief. Right on half, on three-quarter time. Melbourne 13-8-86, the Western Bulldogs 8 goals 10-58. Joey Montagne's in the house tonight with Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy, Ethan Meldrum and the great Mickey Roberts on the boundary line. For McDonald's and Reem Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy.
The boys on Triple M. That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, a wide range of lighting and electrical products, and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
head to Macca's for 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a one-handed grab.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football.
Footy's on the radio. Footy's back.
It's back. This is great news.
Gawn and Grundy kicking 6 between them, so
they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. That Ruck. Yep.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for this footy season. With unbeatable offers on beers, spirits, wines and more, pick up a winner in-store or online at danmurphys.com.au before the game. Kick off the footy season at Dan Murphy's. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. For 43 years, National Tiles has consistently given our customers the best value for money tiles in Australia. Here's proof. Magnificent polished Verona floor tiles. National Tiles' best value price of $39 is over 20% below the market. That's right, 20% below the market every day of the year. Yes, I personally guarantee you National Tiles has the best value for money tiles in Australia every day of the year.
Whether it's savings for first cars, a pool for the backyard, or home loans for a little patch of peace, AMP's banking solutions are here for whatever wealthy you want.
I want to make a record, and I want people to listen to it over and over again until it breaks.
Sounds like some friends of mine.
Based on the New York Times bestseller.
Daisy Jones, Billy Dunn. We stick together. We're going to be the biggest band in the world.
From executive producer Reese Witherspoon, starring Sam Claflin, Riley Keough and Suki Waterhouse.
We don't have to be friends, but if we're going to write together, we can't be strangers. What's going on with you two?
It's what people want to see. It's an act.
Daisy Jones and the Six is now streaming on Prime Video. Start your 30-day free trial today.
G'day, Heath Shaw here, reminding you KFC Supercoach AFL is back. There's a whopping 50 grand up for grabs, plus plenty of weekly prizes. Are you up for the challenge? Play today.
T's and C's apply. New South Wales Auth number TP/01005.
And here is your complimentary upgrade, sir.
Oh, thanks. Bumped up to the business lounge? That's pretty good. Almost as good as TPG's great value internet plans, starting from just $54.99 a month, all on no lock-in contract. And the best part? Switching is easy. Call 13 14 23 or head online today. TPG. Available in selected coverage areas. See website for more details. T's and C's apply.
Prepare to be moved by the award-winning all-new Nissan Qashqai. Crowned the 2023 Drive Car of the Year Best Small SUV, the Nissan Qashqai redefines your everyday drive. It's time to experience Qashqai's award-winning tech, cutting-edge style, and impressive performance for yourself. Contact your local Nissan dealer to book a test drive today.
Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for this footy season. With unbeatable offers on beers, spirits, wines and more, pick up a winner in-store or online at danmurphys.com.au before the game. Kick off the footy season at Dan Murphy's. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Tough on and off the field.
Demons lead by 28 points at three-quarter time, 13-8-86 to the Bulldogs, 8-10-58. Pickett's got 4 goals. Benny Brown has 3 goals for Melbourne. Barry Denner with Joe Montagna here tonight, calling the action. Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson, Miggy Roberts, Ethan Meldrum, Choice Hotels around the grounds. What's happening Gold Coast and Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney 35 points to margin in their early stages of the third quarter. Lance Franklin 2 goals, Dean Rampy 20 disposals, and I think around this ground, more importantly, one hell of a race we saw on the far side. Real head-to-head, bloke falling over as he crossed the finish line trying to race Ed Langdon on the LEDs.
And Triple M Red Z Lending stats, Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com. Heath?
Yeah, all Melbourne, Petrarca, Oliver, all racking up big numbers. Oliver 12 in that term. Petrarca now 24 disposals, 600 metres gained. Adam Treloar playing a lone hand. He's the number 1 ranked player for the Dogs, 27 disposals and a goal.
And Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane teammates. Liam Jones went off early tonight.
He did, and it was around the shoulder region, and the whisper out of the Bulldogs camp is the fact that it was at the bottom of the neck. So whether it's a jarring or some sort of shoulder complaint, but definitely got clipped big time, friendly fire from Bruce. So they'll really have a look at that. Obviously scans and whatever. And the other thing, I'm looking at Cozzy Pickett. He's best on ground for the three-quarter time. He has developed his body. He's changed his body type. He's spent a lot of time in the gym, fast twitch fibres. He is on fire, that kid.
Yeah, I developed mine over the break too. Kate, what are you seeing out there?
Not fast twitch fibres from me, that's for sure.
Fast food fibres from us.
That's it. Yeah, look, I think the Bulldogs, we've said it all night, they just need to improve their ball use going forward. It's pretty disappointing, to be honest, how many times they've made the same mistake, Jono.
Yeah, and there's a couple of them. Yeah, we've been harping on that and we know what it is, but there's another thing that I've sort of picked up in that last quarter was around the tackles, landing your tackles, what the Demons are doing. They're holding their tackles, they're making sure they hold the ball in where the Bulldogs aren't. They're letting them get away with their tackles, thinking their way through.
28-point lead for the Demons, fourth quarter underway for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M Rocks footy. English at half-back will feed it to Ed Richards. He'll go on that left boot towards the wing. Lever been excellent. Got the big fist up. Who can get the front and square? It's Scott. He's taken in another tackle by Clayton Oliver.
Just on that tackle craft, that was really good from Clayton Oliver not to land in Scott's back there. Just rolled him on the side beautifully.
What is the tackle count, Ethan? Red Z Lending?
Tackle count all Melbourne's way, 53-44. That's with more of the ball as well. They're plus 4 disposals.
McRae wins the clearance. Throws it on the right boot, but Bowie in the box seat. Sub's been made for Melbourne. Young Bill Laurie, Bailey Laurie's come off in his first game. Jakey Melksham will come onto the field. Tactical sub can be used, of course, this year. You don't have to be injured anymore. Or just stops clubs pretending a player was injured anyway. And now the Dogs again. Bailey Smith to Bailey Dale. Finds Anthony Scott. Just forward of the wing. Just inside the boundary line. A slow start to this fourth quarter. He's going to kick it towards Norton, who's going to get the free kick. Harrison Petty was freaked out about the Norton leap. He's already taken a few beauties, grabbed the arm. Yeah, held his arm early. So he'll get the free kick. Man on the mark is on the 50-metre line. I'm not sure Norton's got the journey from here. He has signalled that he wants to have a crack at it. But it would take his very best kick. 1-2 for Norton so far. They trail by 28 points. He was never going to go for goal. Whenever they point for the goal, it means they're always going to pop it to the top of the square. Where are the numbers? It's Melbourne. Oliver, slick handball to Cozzy Pickett. And they've got out the back already. It's the fresh man, Melksham. He has an open goal square from 65. He keeps it low. He lets it bounce and bounce and bounce all the way through. And that's the way you want your super sub to be working, Baz. Bring him on. First kick, first goal. Simon Goodwin, take a bow. The Demons, 14-8-92. The Bulldogs, 8-10-58. And that's a pretty handy lead. Start of the fourth quarter. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Bit of a defensive breakdown there. They had numbers all around the footy. Obviously the quick transition, but at no point should you get caught all up around the footy, or at least that flat. That's the one thing as defenders. You don't want to flatten out across the line. I guess I should probably let the number one defender for the Brisbane Lions after 3 years talk about that. I'm a small forward. Why am I talking about defence, Jono?
Well, we used to talk a lot about a goalkeeper. You've got to have a goalkeeper always sitting there, and I reckon that's where they got caught out. They had 3 in a line, straight across, as you called it, flat out, and then no one was actually back. And then as soon as Jakey seen that it was all happening, he just got on his bike and got out of there.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. Bulldogs get out of the centre through Bontempelli. Hand pass to Brittore, got tackled, lost it. Hand pass went astray due to the tackle. Langdon on the end of it. He's tackled, dragged to the ground by McRae.
Feel like there's been a lot of D50 transition tonight. Eth, goals from that?
All Melbourne, 6 goals from their defensive 50 that Melbourne generate. So going end-to-end and scoring.
Ball thrown in the air. Early stages, final term. What have the Bulldogs got left? Petrarca. His kick bounced off the head of McRae and into the arms of English. And Big English kicks the Bulldogs inside forward 50. Norton charges at the footy. Ran into Langdon, who tapped it back to Petty for the Demons at half-back. Hand pass Brayshaw. Hand pass Bowie. Bowie kicks out to the wing, out of sight of the ground. Pickett flew in front. The ball went over his hands and Bailey Dale cleans up behind him. Hand pass goes astray to Oliver. Spills towards Tomlinson. Kick into the centre of the ground to Chandler. They're on the charge here again, Melbourne.
They're out everywhere here. Betty Brown's on his own. Cozzy Pickett and Spargo appeal to the goal square. But Benny Brown, like an actual forward, just pretended he had a little stumble and has to go back and have a set shot. Try and kick his fourth.
But Joey, it's just a reaction. As soon as they win the ball, they're all just getting on their bike and spreading, whether it's forward, whether it's lateral. And you've just, as a ball user, as a ball carrier, you've just got that many options available, left, right, up the middle. So it's actually crazy at the moment how quick they're streaming forward.
Yeah, it's a good call. Chris Johnson, Triple M CBus special comments. They do it with power and speed. They just go. And the Dogs haven't been able to keep up. Benny Brown from 40 metres out for his fourth. Misses. Robbo, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Simon Goodwin's a genius, seriously. He brought Melsham on. Bailey Laurie is not injured. He's just sitting here and just applauded Melsham as that ball was going through. So that whole thing worked for him.
Bob Jane T-Marts, they have a great buy three, get one free deal, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply.
You won't go wrong. Bowie's on the outer side wing. Langdon's got it. He's tackled. Ball released from his hands. In dispute. Whistle goes. High contact Melbourne, as you heard from the umpire, exclusively, of course, as always, mic'd up for Triple M footy. Chandler runs away on the outer side. Kicks inside forward 50. Spargo fly. Melksham, the former Bomber, brings it to ground. Head over it was Josh Bruce trying to work his way out of the pack. Big packet is too. Spargo's got it. Bruce all over him. Holds it up for the Dogs. The umpire just lets the boys play. Punts out the side of the pack. Petrarca runs into three tacklers. Punts it back to Oliver. He runs into a couple himself, and Ed Richards just grabs the footy out of his hands, kicks it about 30 metres to defensive 50 for the Dogs, but a free kick for the Demons, Joey.
It's going to go to Neil Bullen. They lead by 35 points, Melbourne. Early stages, fourth quarter. They've kicked the last three goals. The Jack McRae goal got within 15 points. And they kicked too late to finish that third quarter, and Melksham to start the fourth. Game high, 35 points. Neil Bullen probably going to kick it to the top of the square. He does. Benny Brown's got the run and jump. Couldn't quite take the mark. Petrarca's lurking. So are plenty of Dogs. Bailey Dale. But it's going to come back in because Melbourne are queuing up. And it's Harms who takes the mark. Back it inboard to Angus Brayshaw. Now to Rivers inside the centre square. Just forward of the centre circle. And again, he goes lateral to Lever. Now it's the Demons' turn to try and draw out some of the Bulldogs' defenders. So all six defenders just rack up a kick as they go around the arc from one side to the other.
Play on.
It's now with Bowie. And again's going to go towards Ben Brown, but again there are Dogs everywhere. Melksham looking dangerous. The fresh man on the ground kicks it towards the top of the square. Dogs stopped, but that's because the ball went out of bounds. Right forward pocket. 35-point lead to Melbourne. Game high, early stages, fourth quarter. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans, they are tough on and off the field.
Not unlike yourself, Joey. Boundary throw in. McDonald slaps it down to Petrarca, who runs into a tackler in the forward pocket. The umpire said he dropped the ball. Tried to break the tackle, and Caleb Daniel hung on. So he gets the free tick for the Bulldogs.
Play on.
About 15 metres from the goal he's defending. Called to play on. Low drop punt outside defensive 50. He's missed the target here. He's missed the target. And the Demons will bring it back inside. And that's Rivers who goes short to Pickett. Pickett's 60 metres out from goal. And he's kicked 4 goals tonight. 2 of those came in the third quarter, when the Demons put their foot on the accelerator. As Joey said, a 35-point lead at the moment. Pickett just pops it to the edge of the square. McDonald in front, big pack. Bruce dives on top of the footy and holds it up. And the umpire no choice but to ball it up, still 20 metres out from the Demons' goal.
Just quickly, Caleb Daniel tried to bite off a little bit too much tonight, I think, with his foot skills. He's usually so crisp by foot, but a couple of turnovers have been costly.
Pickett lurking, he was on the move, wrapped up by Bontempelli. English, a lot of numbers around this footy. That's not going to go anywhere. Of course, no Stephen May, no Bailey Fritsch, no Jack Viney, no Christian Salem. Some people thought maybe might have been a bridge too far for Melbourne tonight, but they've done it really nicely as Bruce was just inside the square, the goal square, and he whacks it through from behind.
It's probably lucky that bounced that side of the post, because if it went out, it probably would have been paid deliberate.
14-10-94 Melbourne. The Bulldogs 8-10-58 on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Around the grounds, Choice Hotels.
Yeah, all Sydney, 42 points to the margin there. They might have just kicked another. They certainly have. 48 points the margin now over Gold Coast.
You calling that one, Heath?
Yeah, I think it's pretty over, Baz.
All right, good call. Long kick outside, defensive 50 for the Bulldogs. But again, Melbourne just numbers behind the ball. Langdon's rushed this kick though, and it's gone out in the full. Lockie Hunter, Heath, Triple M Red Z landing stats against his old club tonight. Of course, he's now a Demon. What's his numbers?
Yeah, hasn't been as prolific as he probably would have liked. Just the 10 disposals for him so far tonight.
And Brodie Grundy, plenty of talk, and rightly so, about his arrival at Melbourne. How's he gone tonight?
Yeah, Brodie Grundy, 12 disposals, 12 hit-outs, 6 inside 50s as well.
And Oscar Baker playing against his old club tonight. He now plays for the Bulldogs.
The 9 disposals and a goal.
There you go. So none totally dominating in their new jumpers. There's Neil Bullen in the back pocket, deep. He'll go short to Chandler. The Bulldogs worked it inside forward 50, but Melbourne well in control and in space in their defensive half. Chandler will go short back to Neil Bullen, who just sprinted up the ground.
2 metres back.
And he marks in front of his former teammate in Baker. Plays on, runs around, pops it onto the head of Tommy McDonald on the wing. Big fly from English. And Tim English, the Bulldogs. Ruckman takes the mark. True in position, broadcast side of the ground.
12.5 minutes left in this one. They've got to get their skates on, the Dogs, if they want to try and win it. Liberatore front and square. This will help. Off one step. Goes for goal. Gets it. Liber, right place, right time. And he's a pretty nice finisher for an inside mid. And they get it back to 30 points, and there's still a sniff. 9-10-64. Melbourne 14-10-94. Still plenty of time left. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Yeah, that was a beautiful finish from Liber. Beautifully called too, Joey. Just off a step. All of his weight was leaning backwards, and he still got the ball to carry about 55 metres. That was pretty phenomenal from him, but good finish. That's what they've kind of had to rely on this evening, their mid-scoring goals. Their forwards haven't been too good in front of the big sticks, and they've all come from probably 50 to 45 to 55 out. Had to be good goals.
Looks to me that they've just lost all structure at the moment as well. Moving forward, we've seen Bontempelli come forward, and he tried to hit up Ugle Hagen, just couldn't find him at all. And normally, that'd happen almost every day of the week, but at the moment, their system and their structures are just falling down.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Ream Hot Water built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install the Ream. The Bulldogs have got the clearance. Ed Richards got a bit of space on the outer side wing. Goes to Bontempelli, was off balance and couldn't claim the footy that bounced past him. Lever came the other way, claimed it at halfback. Hand pass off to Langdon. Another one to Harms for the Demons. Another one back to Oliver. Oliver back to Tomlinson, back to Oliver. Oliver off one step, just pumps it towards forward 50. Bruce read that beautifully. And Josh Bruce has taken the mark just outside defensive 50 for the Western Bulldogs. They trail by 30 points, and we're 12 minutes into the final term.
Ethan, who are these two sides got next week when you get the chance, mate? We'll start looking ahead, because it looks as if Melbourne, this 30-point lead, might hang on. That's a terrific tackle, Spargo. Nailed Bailey Dale. Bone-crunching tackle. And he's got it 60 metres out. He wants to wheel and go because he sees the super sub, Jakey Melksham, in the pocket. Good kick. And he takes the mark. 10 metres out, right side, to step out and snap it around the body. And he's a pretty good snapper, Jakey Melksham.
Yes, he is.
It's pleasing to see. It looks like Melbourne are well on their way to win this game, but when you've got someone like Spargo still trying to do all the team things and still not letting anything slip, that was a super tackle.
So Melksham already got one in this fourth quarter, coming on as the sub for Laurie. Didn't snap it back far enough, through for one behind. 95-64 in favour of Melbourne. Of course, Ream Hot Water, how good are they? Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install the Ream. No other hot water system would you rather have?
No, I don't go close, Joey. You're spot on. As Ed Richards goes short to McRae, they're still inside defensive 50. The Bulldogs, the punt road end. McRae plays on. You heard from the umpire. Play on. Long kick out and lob. Takes a nice mark on the outer side wing. Left high. Hand pass to Scott. Another one over to Treloar. Then to Bailey Smith. He's on the charge. Drives it inside forward 50. Norton out of position. Hunter slaps it away, but straight to Ugle Hagen, who's 45 out, but he got the fat side of the footy. And no distance on the kick. It lands about 10 metres short of goal.
Oh, Liver.
And Petty is marked. And a short hand pass to Hunter. What did I miss? What happened?
Well, you got to know the rule. You've got to man the mark where the goal square is. He just ran straight over the goal square. I know Libba probably doesn't watch a lot of footy, but you've got to know the rules. Don't you, Kate?
100%.
It's something pretty simple as a
The umpire even yelled out back to the 9, and it's not like there's that many people here that he couldn't hear that.
And just quickly, Melbourne go coast to coast like that, straight to Ben Brown. He'll have a shot from 53 metres out. And he'll head all the way to centre-half back to start his run-up. He's kicked the 3 goals tonight. Been pretty good. Ethan, Red Z leading, Benny Brown.
Yeah, also the 12 disposals, 7 score involvements, a couple of intercept marks as well in that third term, so he's done a bit of everything, Ben Brown.
He knows he's got young Van Rooyen breathing down his neck, but he's certainly done his part tonight, Ben Brown. Been very good. Starts his run-up. Keeps his run-up going. Still running up. And then shanks it into the pocket, straight to Sam Darcy. Although Bruce was trying to protect his young teammate, and in doing so he held out Brodie Grundy, who's going to get the free kick in between the point post and goal post.
Yes. The umpires ran in from everywhere, Joey. They sprinted in.
And this will be for his first goal in Melbourne colours if he can kick it.
Alex, hold Alex.
Takes his time. He wants the moment.
Yes, he does.
He knows they're going to come from everywhere. He's got the goal. Welcome to the Demons, Brodie Grundy. I knew Maxi Gawn would try and mess up his hair. That's what they're all doing. He gets his first. They notched the 100. They go to 15, 11, 101. The Bulldogs 9, 10, 64. And the sting's gone out of this one.
Well, they've all come from everywhere. They've come from right at full-back, Lever, the whole lot. The whole back six have gotten down there and got around him. So it's always good to kick your first goal for your club, especially the new club as well. So these Melbourne Demons tonight have been very impressive. I like the way they've gone about it. They've used it through the front of the centre corridor at various different times. They've pulled it through the centre clearances as well. They look very impressive, even especially when they move forward.
They did come from everywhere, but Adam Tomlinson was pretty reluctant. He was walking very slowly and then realised that Grundy was going to go into the ruck, so he was like, oh, you can come to me, I'll wait here.
Yes. For McDonald's, Remont Water, Triple M Rocks footy, Bailey Smith streams out of the centre for the Bulldogs, but he shanked the kick and the mark's taken by young McVee. Inside his defensive 50 for Melbourne. Been impressive, as Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy said. Kick to the wing to Sparrow. And Sparrow's taken a nice one-grab mark in front of McLean. Called to play on. Drop punt. About 35 metres looking for Big Max, who led off half forward. Punts it down to Spargo. Hand pass to Lockie Hunter. Underground hand pass looking for Gawn. Slapped it to the ground, but Caleb Daniel was onto that. Hand pass to Joshy Bruce. Another one to English, but his kick has missed the target, which is Hannon. And Brayshaw has marked defensive side of the wing for the Demons. What's his numbers tonight, Uth?
Angus Brayshaw, disposal number 20 this will be.
And let's go around the grounds for Choice Hotel, Sydney Gold Coast.
Yeah, they're cruising now, the Swans. 48 points the margin there over Gold Coast halfway through the third term.
Bailey Williams, half back, throws it on the boot. Good pressure from Melbourne. Still Norton met solidly, and he hurt Brayshaw. Dogs win the ball back. Melbourne, in fact, it was, and the ball goes towards Keith. And he gives it back to Bailey Williams, and they'll mop up again. Although to be chopped off, Spargo couldn't take the mark. McLean, the sub for the Western Bulldogs. Of course, Rory Lobb subbed out of the game early with we think some concussion and a shoulder injury. Oscar Baker, he thought he was still playing for Melbourne. He's handballed it straight to Christian Petrarca and then realised as soon as he did it, I don't play for Melbourne anymore.
That's exactly what happened, Joey. Well called.
More that's going on. Melbourne cough the ball up and it goes towards Bailey Smith. Darcy for the Bulldogs. Liberatore wants to get back on his left boot. Treloar's been pretty good. Back to Libba. And now he just throws it on the boot. And it might work out. Anthony Scott in the box seat drops the chest mark. Norton doing the crumbing. And then Scott coughed up the handball. And Melbourne defenders, they'll continue to scrap and fight.
And the Demons will run away with it. An advantage play. There's big Brodie Grundy. Gives the old 1-2, gets it back. Hand pass Petrarca, who had players hanging off him everywhere. Snuck it out to Grundy, who kept running. Beautiful drilling pass, 40 metres to Spargo. Kicks inside slightly on the boundary line to Pickett. And Pickett marks, who chips it back to Spargo. Play on, said the umpire. He's got a player on his own at centre-half forward. That's the big man, Benny Brown, who loads up from one step. 40 out, puts it through for his fourth. And look at the smile on the dial of Big Ben. Melbourne have had a good night. Terrific season opener for them. 16-11, 107. The Bulldogs left floundering on 9-10, 64. And we're 19 minutes into the final term on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, he missed his last two set shots, Ben Brown, so he thought, you know what, I won't give myself another opportunity. I'm just going to play on here, not go through the whole run-up, and I'll kick the goal from here. That was a beautiful finish, and he listened to the applause that he's getting as he comes off as well.
And there was just options again. It's been like this all night. As they've gone forward, Kate, Melbourne have just had options everywhere, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to cope with the flux of inside forward 50s and how quick it's flowed through.
Red Head Lending stats, that's now 8 goals Melbourne have generated from their defensive 50, unbroken chains going up to the forward 50 and scoring.
That was a big issue for the Dogs last year. They haven't addressed it. I think I may have said Rory Lobb was subbed out, Baz. It was Liam Jones, in fact, and been a big factor when Liam Jones went out of this game. It fell apart defensively for the Dogs. Who they got next week, Ethan, these two teams?
The Western Bulldogs have got St Kilda Saturday night, Marvel Stadium. Big clash for the D's Friday night. They've got the Lions at the Gabba, who need to bounce back from their loss to Port Adelaide earlier today.
Wow.
That is a big one.
That is a huge one. Brisbane beaten by 54 points today.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Against Port Adelaide. They're going to come up against the red-hot Demons, who have shown they are cherry ripe, particularly to start this season. Oliver and Petrarca have done their thing. There's Oliver again. He's quick kick only as far as Keith, though, who was called to play on. Cozzy Piggott was lurking. That's the big story out of this game. He's been one of the best players on the ground, Cozzy Piggott, but he's going to miss a couple of weeks of footy with a reckless front-on contact bump on Bailey Smith, who luckily was able to get up and keep playing. But it'll be the big talking point. And the kick from the Dogs, chopped off by Trent Rivers. Oliver, he's been a little bit fumbly tonight by Clayton Oliver standards. Feeds it back to Lever, who's also been one of the best Demons on the ground. Petrarca flew high on Treloar, did all the hard work, just couldn't quite bring it down. And now the Dogs will go inside 50 through Bailey Smith. It'll get out the back. Petty did well, twist and turns on Ugle-Hagan, and then squares it up towards Gaunt.
Still inside defensive 50. The big man has to wait for the bouncing ball, but he did it with all class and had all the time in the world. Picks it up, kicks forward to the centre, runs it out in front of his teammates. The Bulldogs come out in numbers from half-back. Bailey Dale claims it, finds a bit of space, kicks to Bailey Williams, back to Dale, short ball to Johannison. Johannison marks in the centre, goes short to Scott, who marks on forward 50. So the Bulldogs hasn't been their night. 43 points in arrears of Melbourne at the moment.
3 metres back.
22 minutes into this final term.
Thank you.
And applause coming for Spargo. Melbourne fans very pleased with their charges tonight as he comes off the ground. And Harms comes back on. But Scott's got the footy 55 metres out at the city end. Gives it everything he's got with his left boot. Close on the line, but who's back there? Big Max. Where the ruckman should be. And he stuck his hands up and made sure it was a rush point for the Bulldogs only. 9-11-65 they are. 16-11-107 Melbourne. Round the grounds, Heath. What's happening Gold Coast?
Yeah, still Sydney. 49 points the margin. 3 minutes left in the third term there over Gold Coast.
It's 42 points here at the MCG. Just over 3 minutes left in this one. Bulldogs led by 7 points midway through the second term. But from that moment on, Melbourne have been pretty dominant. Bruce couldn't take the mark. Chandler had some nice moments. Spits out to Oscar Baker. His first game for the Dogs against his former side just blazes away straight down the throat of Angus Brayshaw.
Play on.
He wants to head out to the Shane Warne stand side of the MCG because they're still running hard, Melbourne. They are out everywhere. Neil Bullen, Pickett, McDonald. They're all going to queue up and get the footy. He's got the 60 metres out, McDonald. Brody Grundy works short. Harms makes a lead. Getting back, Taylor Duray did the hard work, then dropped the mark. So it'll fall to Harms, who's got players in the goal square if he can get it to them. Grundy, Petrarca had a couple of fresh aries. That was a bit comical. He is knackered, Christian Petrarca. He's been pretty solid again, Ethan. Christian Petrarca, Red Z Lending.
Yeah, Christian Petrarca, 30 disposals, 8 clearances, 670 metres gained.
Kick out from full back. Outside defensive 50. McDonald couldn't complete the mark. Melbourne will bring it back inside. Bailey Smith read it in front of Petrarca this time. And he's taken the mark.
Who's doing the triple MVP votes? Jono? Kate?
Yeah.
Jono, first up. Beautiful.
I know. It's a big night in regards to the great Chris Johnson, who's joined Triple M Footy.
You do know this is the award all the players want to win, Jono?
It is.
Yes, mate, know that.
Because
I know
it's voted on by the superstars like yourself and Kate. And that's why they want to win it.
Triple MVP and the Brownlow.
Yes.
And then the Players Award.
Yeah, not necessarily. In either order. And Scott kicks it back in towards the centre of the ground for the Bulldogs, but it's through the hands, the fingertips of Duray. Grundy lays the tackle. The ball's in dispute. Back of the pack, it's going to be Rivers who hand pass to Oliver. And they run away, the Demons, through the centre of the ground. They've got all the time in the world. It's chipped out to Lockie Hunter, who marks on the wing broadcast side of the ground. He just sort of lopes it over the top, left foot kick. Short ball to Chandler. And he's just forward of the wing, Joey, broadcast side of the ground.
Yep, this is about when the ball winners try and stat pad. You'll see some of the typical names get a little touch or two these last few minutes.
Did you run around a little bit like that?
I did plenty of that.
Yep, you was on and back up the numbers.
Rivers, high ball into the pocket. No one's really there for Melbourne, but they'll just queue up front and square. Neil Bullen will dribble it underneath the defenders and get another one. They're piling them on now, the Demons, and they're making a statement early in season 2023. They've got their 17th, and they go to 17-12, 114. The Bulldogs 9-11-65. On the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboards, Titanium Caravan's tough on and off the field.
Well, they've just been all over the Bulldogs in this second half. Hasn't matter how the ball has gone inside their forward 50, whether it's been quick, they've got them out the back, whether it's been a forward that's let up, or they've gone long, deep, brought the ball to ground, and their forwards have got to work. So, been a pretty clinical performance in the end, and very impressive considering the firepower that they do have out from that premiership 2 years ago. So they'd be very pleased with this start, Heath.
Yeah, Red Z lending stats. That's now 12 goals to 3 Melbourne's way, generated from the defensive half of the ground. One of those men involved, Clayton Oliver, 22 disposals since half-time.
Oof. What's the official attendance tonight, Heath?
48,103 here tonight.
There we go, just under the 50 they were hoping for here at the MCG tonight. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks Footy. Latter stages of the game now, with seconds left on the clock. And it's been a big night for Melbourne, a big statement made, as Joey just said. 49-point leaders at the moment. Out of the pack, Bontempelli. What's his numbers tonight, Heath?
Bontempelli, 24 disposals in a goal.
And the biggest numbers on the ground tonight?
Well, the biggest numbers, Oliver up to 33, Petrarca 30. For the Bulldogs, Jack McRae, 33 disposals and a goal. Liberatore, Treloar, 32 apiece and a goal apiece as well.
So he's just taking the headset off. He said, I only call contests. So the boundary throw in. That's where he's at now, Jono. That's the level he's at. And rightly so, Joey. I agree with you. You are at that echelon. Of course, Sunday footy tomorrow. Where are we going tomorrow, Ruth? For the
MCG. It's a big one, the blockbuster.
You'll be looking after us there.
Hawks v the Bombers.
Yes, the Bombers in town.
Excited?
Always an air of excitement when the Bombers are in town.
Chance for them to win this game, Baz.
Ball's thrown up in the air. This one ticking down. Still 49-point leaders of Melbourne. They've done it beautifully. They've made a statement. It's been a disciplined affair tonight from Melbourne. They obviously know the game plan very well. They've executed tonight at the G. They've got one more chance for a score. As the marker's taken by McDonald right on the siren. The 2021 Premiers have been very, very good. Big build-up to this game. The Bulldogs were going to be the big challengers tonight, and Melbourne have brushed them off. A shot on goal. McDonald for a 55-point win. He's missed it. So it's a 50-point win to the Demons. 17-13, 115 Melbourne. The Western Bulldogs, 9-11-65.
It's a grand old flag. It's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love. The team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be pulled up, keep your eye on the red.
Magnificent Melbourne. All right, courtesy of Channel 7, let's go downstairs to Daisy Thomas with Christian Petrarca.
Early on, I was nervous for the game. I think I'm 9 years in and I'm still getting scared and still worrying a little bit, but it's always good when you get your hands on it and the environment back at the MCG, the atmosphere was amazing.
A bit nervy early. What about late there? We just saw you have a couple of fresh areas on the goal line.
Oh, my Italian ancestors will not be happy with me. I'll probably disown me. I don't know what's going on there. I was a bit flat. I was a bit tired towards the end of it.
Must be nice coming into that midfield. Of course, Max Gawn was unbelievable, but also the addition of Brodie Grundy as well.
Yeah, they've been awesome there. Gawney's so selfless, and include another, one of our greatest rucks of the generation in Grundy as well. The last decade, he's been amazing, and they're both working so well on the field, but also off the field. Brodie's given us so much with that culture, what he's seen from Collingwood, and it could bring us to us as well.
Well done, mate. All the best for the rest of the season. Cheers,
there's Daisy, courtesy of Channel 7, with the great Christian Petrarca on the Triple M Harvey Norman screen there. Say hello to great mobile deals on now at Harvey Norman. Shop in store or online. Kate and Jono, that is a big statement from the Demons. 50-point winners over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, super impressive, Braz. From half-time onwards, I thought their intensity, their work ethic, actually to get in the contest early on was really, really impressive. But after half-time, the way they came out after that and they just pushed through, the ability to spread from the contest and actually get forward was excellent.
Courtesy of Channel 7, Abby Holmes, this time with Brodie Grundy.
Fantastic to get back out there and have so many people, Melbourne supporters, come out and see us take home the win on the first week.
It's been a wonderful team performance, there's no doubt about that, but there's been a lot of focus and intrigue about the combination that you're forging with Max Gawn. How have you seen that relationship build over the pre-season? And I'm sure you absolutely love playing alongside him.
Oh, it's a special relationship. We get along really well. He's a really charismatic man, and we just like to have fun. I mean, footy, at the end of the day, it's a great job and you've got to enjoy it, and that's what we're doing here at Melbourne.
What's been the most impressive thing for your mind, I guess, since arriving at the organisation?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last bit.
Since arriving at the organisation, what's been your most impressive thing about Melbourne?
Just their attention to detail. Everything they do is at a really high level, and keeping me honest as an old fella now, it's been really pleasing.
I'll let you go and enjoy it. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, but so they were just, look, Grundy and Gawn, we went down to them, watched them against Richmond down at Casey, Kate, and we've seen the way they work so well together, and they've done it again tonight. Obviously not as damaging as they were down there when they had 6 goals between them, but tonight I think the chemistry between them and the ability for them to understand each other around sliding forward, sliding back, and actually doing that is something that the Demons are probably going to have it over every side in the competition, of having 2 A-grade ruckmen in their team, giving their midfield first opportunity to the ball, first opportunity in the back half as well, because they get back, they cover the ground, they're an extra defender as well at the same time, so they're a very lucky group to have these 2 ruckmen playing in their football side alongside each other.
Absolutely, and then their ability to also go forward, and it's a nightmare for any defence. They've got, obviously, Ben Brown tonight kicked 4 himself. They've got Bailey Fritsch to still come back, who's can arguably play as a tall or a small. He's very good on the lead. We saw him kick a number of goals in that grand final, and then you've got Cozzy Pickett, who's pushing through the midfield, pushing forward, getting busy there as well. So adding another string to their bow by getting Grundy, I think it's just been a fantastic move for them. A few people said it wouldn't work. I don't know what they were thinking, because they're both great in the ruck, but they're also so good around the ground and so good when they push forward.
And their disposals are so good as well. They're not your typical ruckman, Joey. I know I played with a few ruckmen and they weren't too handy.
You didn't want them to get the ball.
You wanted to run away from the ball, but I had a couple. Of good ones. But certainly them 2, we're ball in hand, they're outstanding.
Name them, Jono.
Yes. The ones you wanted to run away from the ball. That's what I want to hear. Triple M Amy review here with Jono and Kate and Joey. Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. It's a 50-point win to Melbourne. They're still on the ground going around. We'll head down to the room shortly. 17-13, 115. Western Bulldogs 9-11-65. Ethan Meldrum's of course, here in the box. 3/4 time up on the Gold Coast, Heath.
Yeah, certainly is. 48 points the margin. Sydney's favour, 13-10-88, 6-4-40 the Suns. Of course, Ben King, first game back since doing his ACL late in 2021, has a goal to his name at 3/4 time, but it's all Sydney apart from that.
That's the Choice Hotels around the grounds. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead and book it.
Absolutely, Baz. Absolutely.
Demons still going around the ground. Young McVie there, his first game, and he's getting the family and friends on the boundary line, Jono.
Yeah, looks like they're all excited. They've got some FaceTime happening down on the boundary line too. Must be some people back at home as well that they're getting amongst.
Do you remember your first game, Kate?
Yeah, I do. It was actually the first time that Brisbane had played in the AFLW, so it was an exciting one. Against Melbourne at Casey, got called off at half-time for about half an hour because there was a thunderstorm that hit.
That's right. Yeah,
then we went back out. No one knew what was going on, and we ended up winning by, I think, 5 points or something.
Jono, yours?
Mine was a great day. We played Essendon, and we bet Essendon back. Tim Watson's 300th as well. Just after he's won the premiership, we just put you back in your place.
Baz was probably there.
How good's that, Baz? Judd McVie, he's got all his mates and family in the pocket. He's got the security guard to get the camera and take a photo for him with all his mates. That is a great moment.
Yeah, Joey, your first game would have been 40 plus.
No, mine was a stinker. We got beaten by Collingwood by about 88 points.
Yeah.
I had about 4 touches and didn't end very well. Got dropped the next week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least you didn't get subbed out, so that could happen.
This is fair dinkum been like a premiership march to Demons.
Well, they're waiting for the youngster in his debut. He's been getting around his family and friends. A special moment for him, and he'll go inside and get his Gatorade shower.
Very impressive, Kate, the Demons, and as I said, we've said it a few times and I made a statement, but we came into this game thinking this is real even keel, but they looked very disciplined.
Yeah, they did, and they just ran out the game perfectly. They went really hard all the way to the final siren. There were points in that fourth quarter where, I mean, they were well on top in the game and they were still just outworking, outrunning the Western Bulldogs, but not just forward of the footy, backwards as well, working all the way back in defence to help out. Lever still working super hard down there. Probably didn't have quite the same impact in that the second half, but that's just because they didn't need him to. He was fantastic in the first half of football, and yeah, their forwards just working hard up the ground, getting on the end of it, getting out the back a few times as well.
Demons heading to the rooms, high fives everywhere. Good to see a nice crowded rooms down there at the bottom of the MCG. And that's where you are, Mickey Roberts, right in amongst it.
I am. I'm standing here with May and Viney and Salem and Fritz and the whole shooting match, and they've got to come back into this side, and they are wrapped. Just talking to Stephen May, he did it in the warm-up against the Richmond game, so he reckons he was touch and go and could have played. He's relieved now, but it was a big decision for him to step away, so they're getting together. This is going to be a big circle. They're going to get the whole coaching staff. Simon Goodwin is making everyone get in here. They're going to circulate around here, the boys, the new fellas, and they're going to sing the song as we speak. Big win for him. Simon Goodwin standing next to me. He's wrapped.
Good on you, Mickey. We'll be back down to you shortly. 50-point winners were Melbourne over the Western Bulldogs tonight. 17-13, 115. The Bulldogs 9-11, that's 65. We'll be back down to the room shortly for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M. Rocks footy.
That quarter, the titanium caravans, tough on and off the field.
For Ream Hot Water.
Triple M rocks footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
Len got in touch because Loz says that we should name your ward. Len said he could kick us off by calling it Stew. Stew what? Stew. Someone else also suggested Shane Wart. Shane Wart. Yeah.
What about Wartic Kappa?
That's good, Loz. That's your best, Loz, huh? Yeah. Dion Warty. Dion
The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there. If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge. Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch. You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blend for $48.99. I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese. You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
You're first to work and last to leave. You've risked everything, but you know, when it all comes off, it will have all been worth it. You've taken more knocks than you thought you could ever take. You've been let down, ridiculed, laughed at. But you're not quitting. You're still here because your belief is. Who are you? You're an Australian business owner. Who are we? We're your accountant. Call us on 1300 982 559. Your Business Angels. Repair the past. Rescue the future.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. For 43 years, National Tiles has consistently given our customers the best value for money tiles in Australia. Here's proof. Magnificent polished Verona floor tiles. National Tiles' best value price of $39 is over 20% below the market. That's right, 20% below the market every day of the year. Yes, I personally guarantee you National Tiles has the best value for money tiles in Australia every day of the year.
We're all looking forward to a break this Easter, and for many people, they're looking forward to a holiday away from home. That means new people visiting this area with money to spend.
Spot on, Jimmy. So if you're a business owner, advertise on Triple M this Easter to tell the holiday makers who you are and what you have to offer. The average person spends around $2,000, Jim, over the Easter holidays. So if you want them to spend that money with you, advertise right here on Triple M.
Visit triplem.com.au now and click on Advertise Local to find out more.
Thanks to KO Sports, Triple M's Rush Hour is getting out the crystal ball. Listen to JB and Billy weekdays from 4 to hear their footy predictions. Then see if they come true on KO Sports. Get the game you want when you want this footy season on KO.
Get a read on this Sunday in Body and Soul. Would you like crickets with that? Edible insects and cultivated meat, the food trends of the future. And in Escape, holiday sellout. Get the best of the rest when the holiday you want is booked out. Only in the Sunday Herald Sun.
Many are doing it tough right now, struggling to make ends meet and get food on the table. But the people that need our help the most are not always the ones you think.
It's families.
And kids.
The elderly.
Those with 1 or even 2 or 3 jobs.
It's people with mortgages.
Those who have just fallen on tough times.
Fortunately, Food Bank is here to help. Help us to help those doing it tough. Donate to Food Bank today to ensure no one goes without. Head to foodbank.org.au.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M Footy Review. Amy. Who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy.
All right, 50-point winners were Melbourne, 17-13, 115. The Bulldogs, 9-11, 65. 50 points, they were magnificent. The Demons here tonight. One of the heroes down in the rooms with Mickey Roberts. We've got the great Charlie Spargo. Mickey.
He was one of the heroes. Little fella, I tell you what, and there were some big boys out there. Gee, you must have enjoyed that opening game. Pressure was on, the Dogs came at you, but your system worked after half-time.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Mickey. The system is what got us over the line. I think we were genuinely challenged in the second quarter, and obviously they're a quality side with some real strengths to their game. But just proud of the group, of the way we could adjust like halfway through the second quarter, not have to wait till half-time when maybe they've put a few more goals on the board. So it's something we've been working on over the summer, because it was probably a bit of an issue last year when teams got a run on. We couldn't really figure it out mid-quarter. So I thought the leaders were great, and everyone on the field really about just shifting the language and the way we were playing mid-quarter to eventually get the game back on top the way we wanted and end up the win.
I love the reaction of the blokes that are standing out. There was May, Salem, Fritsch, Viney, all around here. Simon Goodwin, the coach, made sure that all the coaches and everyone were involved in that song. It meant something to the club.
Yeah, that's right. And we've genuinely built a connection, and people say it a lot, but it took so much time. Like, that stuff doesn't just happen over one pre-season. It's a group that's been together for 4 or 5 pre-seasons now, and really valued sort of stuff and getting to know one another. And we talk a lot about what drives each person and why they play footy, and learning that about each other. I think when you see others do well, you're genuinely happy for them.
Charlie, that second half was a really clinical performance from you guys. Obviously, they were really right up in it up until that halftime break. Was there a message or was there a change to the method, or were you just able to put it together better in the second half?
There was a few little things we tinkered with, but I think one of the main things we did was just acknowledge that there's going to be momentum shifts in the game. Like, it's not always going to be a perfect ride. You're playing against a good team every week. There's going to be shifts in momentum. So it was about sort of withstanding what they had when they gave it to us, which was a pretty good effort. They've obviously got some great mids, and they were winning it out of the middle pretty quickly. So I thought the back stayed really calm. The forward stayed ready for when we were going to get our chance, and the mids were probably the ones that sort of shifted the game.
Charlie, their new look for Cozzy Pickett. He's started in the middle of the ground, and are we going to see more of that? Are we going to see more you in the middle of the ground starting off at the start of games?
Yeah, I think we've sort of trained myself, Cozzy, Alex Nilbell and Kay Chandler, a lot of the sort of smaller guys and the sort of guys with a bit more running capacity have trained in the midfield over the pre-season, just to be in a position where we can give chop outs to Track and Clary. I think not only does it help them have fresher legs, but sort of gives other teams different looks. It means we're not predictable at every centre bounce, and also Track and Clary, terrific one-on-one players in their own right, can go forward as well. So I think every now and then you'll see Cozzy going in. Alex is playing up on the wing, so just for different looks, I think.
Hey, well done tonight, Charlie, and you've given the forwards and the mids a lick, but your back line without Stephen May, I thought were exceptional. They were well organised behind the ball, led by Jake Lever, but McVie and Tomlinson coming into the side. I mean, it always helps when you're so assured behind the ball as you were tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Going into this interview, I really wanted to give them a pump up. They're really just an incredible group. I mean, the trust that the rest of the team has in every person at our club who's in the back line, not just the guys who play every week, but people who are ready to come in and fill roles like Tomo and Judd. I can't really say much else than I've got so much trust in them, and I think they were so pivotal. Obviously, Stephen, a key pillar of our defence, was out, and they just got it done.
We're talking to Charlie Spargo on Triple M Footy. He's about to go head-to-head with three-time premiership superstar of the Brisbane Lions, Chris Johnson.
Charlie, now you say that you guys have been together for 5 seasons now, this group, and you've got 2 new boys out there tonight that were very, very handy and really stood up to expectations. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, Brodie and Lockie, they've fit in seamlessly, and I think they've been great just to give us throughout the pre-season just different perspectives on things. It's always good to get fresh faces in, but not only just fresh faces, but guys who've incredible players in their own right and a lot of experience. So obviously they're well seasoned AFL players, and then they fit in really well, brought into the system and everything we stand for, and obviously having a real impact as well.
Now, Charlie, did you see what happened with Clayton Oliver when that ball was about to go over the fence and he decided to kick it about 23 rows back into the MCG? Now, we know he's a superstar. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Did anyone have a word to it? What was he thinking? What was going through his head?
I spoke to him after the game. Yeah. He was just telling me it was one of those sort of 10-minute patches where the balls just kept bouncing away from him. He really wanted to get his hands on it. And then it rolled out of bounds. He kicked it in the crowd at pace as well. So I think he might be expecting a fine coming later this week.
He was a bit frustrated he hadn't touched the ball for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it, because he's usually got it on a string. Like, maybe I could do that, but not him.
Yeah. Well, the rest of us are in trouble if Clayton Oliver can't get a kick. So
correct.
Charlie, obviously last season probably didn't go how you guys wanted it at the end of the season, and there's been a lot of talk that in the off-season you guys have put in a mountain of work due to that. What's been the talk? Has it been, all right, this isn't what we wanted to do, let's forget it and move on, or let's focus on what we didn't get right and improve it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. You've got to acknowledge where you went wrong and where your shortcomings were, and clearly I think everyone knows we were up in a lot of games last year, but for whatever reason, when other teams got momentum, we couldn't stop it. So we've been putting a fair bit of work into, as I said earlier in the interview, just being able to reset mid-quarter without our coaches having to do it during breaks. The leaders and every player's really bought into that. I think that's the key. We've always had a good system, but it's just those sort of things, wrestling back momentum in games, I think will be key for us if we want to do what we want this year.
Hey, Charlie, you and your teammates were magnificent tonight. Well played. Go and enjoy it with your mates.
Thanks, guys. Ripper game.
Charlie Spargo, what a ripper game for the Melbourne Footy Club. 50-point winners over the Demons, 17-13, 115. The Bulldogs, 9-11, 65 for McDonald's. Don't forget, head to Macca's for the 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a one-handed grab that is. And if 10's not enough for you, like myself, go for the $6 and you won't be disappointed. This is the Triple M Amy Review. Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. The Macca's moment. I'm loving it moment tonight. Tonight's I'm loving it moment happened at the 29-minute mark of the third quarter, and here's how we called it on Triple M Footy.
Kick it inboard to Clayton Oliver, who wants to wheel. and get it inside 50 to the big boys. Brown and Gawn are in this contest. Gawn did well to bring it to ground, then crumbs his own ball, then sweeps a beautiful handball to Ben Brown, who flicks it over the top to Cozzy, who's already got 3. He's going to run in. Watch him celebrate. He's got 4. He's having a field day, Cozzy Pickett.
And he'll remember that forever. Called by the great Joe Montagna tonight. And Joey nods his head. He knows that was a... Look at him. It's all right not to react. Look at the...
Come on, Baz.
He's thinking himself. That was a very good call. Just before the Triple M MVP award... Just before the award is Ethan Meldrum with a big numbers tonight, Heath, with his 50-point win for the Demons.
Well, it was all D's ball movement in the end. AFL teams normally scored less than 2 goals a game, generate from their defensive 50, going like unbroken, no stoppage and chain, going forward 50 and kicking a goal. Normally less than 2 a game. D's kicked 8 goals from that source tonight, going end to end. Dogs just the 1. That was the major difference in the game. 71% by foot, the D's. Dogs 55%, and a lot of clanger kicks for the Dogs as well. 35. AFL average there is 24 per game. 35 for the Dogs. They turned it over at will. Leading players on the ground, Clayton Oliver has got a great record against the Dogs. Poll coaches votes in the last 5 clashes with them. 33 disposals, most for the Ds. Petrarca 30 with nearly 700 metres gained. For the Western Bulldogs, McRae 33 and a goal, Liberatore 32 and a goal, Treloar 32 and a goal, and Ed Richards 27 disposals, 16 intercept possessions, career high for him. And
one last score update from the Gold Coast, Heath. We know that's over. 10 minutes left to play. How far is Sydney in front?
Yeah, it's pretty well over. Sydney 48 points the margin there, 14-12-96 to Gold Coast 7-6-48.
All right, the Triple M MVP award is the one the players want to win because it voted on the superstars such as Kate McCarthy and Chris Johnson. I think, Jono, you've got the good ones tonight. What do you got for us in game number 1 for Triple M footy?
Yeah,
superb.
Thanks, Baz. Wasn't easy tonight. There was a couple of guys that were really, really good early on, and then later on they sort of tapered out a bit there, Joey. But some special mentions to Grundy, Lever and Gawn not getting in the votes tonight. But I'm going to have to give it my 3 votes tonight. Actually, I'll go more 1 vote first. Cozzy Pickett, he was outstanding.
Yes,
apart from his big hit, he was very good early when the game was in the balance, so I gave him 1 vote. The second, my 2 votes will have to go to Clayton Oliver. I thought he was up and about quite early. He got through at the back end of the game, but when it really mattered, I thought Christian Petrarca was the one for me tonight, was 3 votes with his 662 metres gained as well. He had 5 tackles. He had 14 contested possessions along with 8 clearances as well, with the inside forward 50s of 6 at the same time. So 3 to Petrarca, Oliver with the 2, and then Pickett with the 1.
Superb, Chris Johnson, as always, and I know who'd be happy to hear your voice tonight. That's Leroy back in the studio to hear the 3-time premiership superstar for the Brisbane Lions.
Thank you, Leroy.
Well played, Jono, and Kate McCarthy. You were superb as always, a superstar before you walked in here, and that hasn't changed in the last few hours. Thanks, Heath. Great work from you.
Enjoy your throwdown on the way home, Baz.
I will, absolutely. I'll be dropping into Macca's for a couple of throwdowns.
Good start for you, Baz. Good start for you.
Well played, Joe. Big day for you. Thanks to Kirko, thanks to Rudy, and thanks to Corey, who's looked after us in the box. Baz Dennis signing off on behalf of the crew, and thanks to Mickey Roberts, of course. Melbourne 17-13, 115, defeated the Western Bulldogs by 50 points. 9-11-65. For McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M Footy Review for Amy, who covers Clang.